Welcome everyone to Comics from the Multiverse, episode 306. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Matt.
Hey, what's up?
A little sickly there, Matt. You got?
Yep, I'm not doing great, but I'm here.
Did the Golden Knights like trip on the puck and?
No, they've been out for a while, Pete. Thanks for paying attention. This has nothing to do with watching wrestling, as my wife said. I wasn't even that loud on Wednesday, so it's either allergies or I caught crud. That's been going around. So hopefully it's not COVID. I haven't checked.
Still feels like maybe you should check.
Yeah, I know, but it feels different than last time when I had COVID.
Yeah, I don't think a sore throat's one of the symptoms of that, though, is it?
No.
Depends on which strain you get.
Okay, I suppose, yeah. The things have gotten messy with all the strains.
Yeah.
And yeah, despite the fact that he said he would be here this week, Connor has somehow slyly snaked his way onto the show.
Yeah, I juggled some shifts around, and here I am. I mean, I didn't plan to, but someone was like, hey, do you want me to work your Saturday shift? And I was like, do you want to work a Saturday night instead of me? Yes, please.
Yes. But don't worry, I've made it as miserable as possible for Connor. I made him do a 2-hour news video this morning.
Yeah, you did. It's fine, though, because all I've got to do is get through tonight, and then tomorrow is an exciting day, because the final day of the football season in the Premier League, and everything's still to play for. There's still up for grabs on who gets the title, 4th place, which matters for different competitions, and we still don't know who's going to be relegated. It could be Leeds
Fighting for fourth.
Leeds, it could be Burnley.
Fighting for 4th place, such a ginger thing to do.
4th place lets you get into, I think, Europa League. So it's like it matters for a Europe competition. So if you get 4th from that, you get in.
Where you could finish 4th and still tie. Soccer.
I love how all the leagues sound like they're like tiers of a subscription service.
Yeah.
The Premier, the Premier,
the Premier League, then the Championship, and then it goes League One, League Two, which is somehow the 3rd and 4th leagues.
So I've been conscripted into Arsenal fandom, mostly because the Rams owner.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and so I saw a guy at the gym yesterday, because despite feeling under the weather, I'm still going to work out. And there's a guy in a Chelsea jersey working out, and I asked a friend that conscripted me, am I supposed to fight him right now?
Arsenal are the ones fighting for the top 4 slot with Tottenham, because they need some results to go their way, which is unlikely, to say the least.
Feels like being a Golden Knights fan this year.
Basically, they need to win their game, and they need Tottenham to lose their game against one of the worst sides in the league, which is not going to happen.
Okay, this conversation is done. This is just done.
I did volunteer to fight someone, and she told me, no, wait, learn banter first, then fisticuffs.
Sports talk is bad. Football talk is like, yeah, it's just this torture. I have no part of it. So this is a DC Comics podcast, believe it or not, everyone. We get together, we talk about the DC Comics we read this week. Coming up on this week's show, we have Nightwing issue 92, The Flash 782, Batman Superman World's Finest issue 3, Batman the Night issue 5, and Shadow Warzone issue 1. Those are what's coming up discussion wise on the week's show. But it is Solicits week, so we do have August Solicits to work through as well, so it should be a meaty show regardless. But that's all coming up. And of course, there's always time for a Comixology top 10.
Is it X-Men?
And I know Matt's not feeling great. He's a little under the weather. This is chicken soup for the soul is what this is.
No, it's not. This is making me go outside during a windstorm like my boss did yesterday.
It's like pouring hot sauce in his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Would you believe it? Number 1 on the Comixology sales chart at the moment is in fact an X-Men book. It is Immortal X-Men issue 2.
That's the Gillen one, I think.
Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I think that's like the main one.
Yeah, I didn't remember this is even starting. The title's new to me, but that's okay. Number 2 is also an X-Men book. X-Men Red issue 2 is number 2. So
it's not Tom Taylor, so I'm not reading it.
That's the one that's on Mars.
Yes.
That also had a team I was interested in, but I don't remember who it is now.
Ed Brista, sorry, Al Ewing and Russell Dortman.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a hell of a team.
So, yeah, I mean, the recent soft relaunch of X-Men with these new books, but obviously they're both hitting issue 2, so they're both pretty fresh still, doing quite well. And it's X-Men, so they may keep doing well, but we'll see. Number 3 is Thor, issue 25. So that's Donny Cates Thor still.
Yeah.
And then finally we get to a DC book at number 4.
Nightwing.
It is Nightwing, Matt. Very good.
Nailed it.
Even sick Matt's better than Connor. So this is this week's issue 92.
I could have guessed Nightwing.
At number 4.
Matt just got in there before me.
We'll never know.
Hey, I got X-Men before you even started preparing for the top.
Because you're being a preemptive little shit. That doesn't count.
Jeopardy rules, you would have been knocked out from being able to answer again because there's a timer if you hit it before the host finishes. So you're disqualified, sir.
Exactly.
Well, that's stupid. Every other quiz show in the world doesn't have that.
Well, that's why Jeopardy's the best one. It's been on for like 60 years.
I mean, I've never seen an episode of Jeopardy, but I'll side with Matt just because it makes Connor wrong. So, number 5.
I think we should do this in the format of the chase.
Number 5. The chase? How do we do the chase on this?
I don't know. We'll find a way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You can be the beast over in the corner.
I feel like that's an insult.
I'll be the chaser. I don't mind that, but like, Connor, all you're doing is giving me ideas for the next time I write a quiz for this show. So
yeah, I regret this.
Although it doesn't really work because we have to have. I can't know the answers. I have to also be answering questions. So you kind of need like an impartial host as well.
Oh, yeah. Right, you can't make me laugh like that because that hurts.
Hey Matt, it's summer. Hope there's no cold snap coming anytime soon.
That's not funny though.
Sorry, Matt. On our 2-hour news special, we were in literally crying with laughter over a TV show called The Bear.
That's true. That's true.
So by life story.
No. It's about a restaurant owner or something. I can't remember exactly, but there was not about a bear, unfortunately.
Well then, I don't care.
I think it was a chef. Yeah,
it was a chef. Yes. Number 5 at the Comixology top 10 is Batman Superman: The World's Finest. So Mark Waid's book coming in just after Nightwing. Then we're back to some X-Men shenanigans with New Mutants issue 25.
Certainly a book.
Yep. Number 7 is Shadow Warzone, or crossover tie-in one-shot. So there you go. And then you got number 8, which is X-Force issue 28. That's the 4th X-Men book on this top 10.
I mean, it feels like that's Marvel right now, right?
Yeah. It's not DC versus Marvel, it's DC versus X-Men. That's the fight
I'm
right
waiting
now.
for the week, inevitably, where the full top 10 is filled with only Batman and X-Men books.
Oh, someday. That'll happen.
I think it's coming in the near future.
That's a multiverse of madness, sir.
Number 9 is Eternals, issue 12.
I think that's the final issue of that series.
Oh, is it? Okay, there you go. And what's funny is that it reached 12 issues, and there's like maybe about 12 people who care about Eternals. So
there's a lot of people who care about that book. That's a great book.
Yeah, apparently it's very, very well received.
Yeah, they do. The people who care about this book, they're like you. They care about Gillen, right? People who care about the Eternals, there's about 12 of them.
Why is Spider-Punk fighting Danzig?
What?
I don't know who Spider-Punk or Danzig are, but okay. This is all news to me. And then number 10, Marvel, doing quite well in the top 10 this week with Fantastic Four issue 43 taking that final slot. This is still Dan Slott.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising. Once Dan Slott gets on a book, that's it for about 7 years.
Joe, it's weird though, because I'm looking at Thor 25, and that's like 25th issue of Donny Cates after previous runs ended, and New Mutants is on issue 25. I guess I thought the number would be way higher. I guess Fantastic Four is not double shipped as much. Maybe a lot of delays in this particular series.
It did have a good handful of delays early on.
Yeah, I remember I was reading it initially, and then I missed a week or a month or whatever it was, and I just never went back.
I think in that first 10 issues or so, that probably took a good 18 months to come out, maybe longer.
Let's look ahead at some of the old DC books. Number 11 is Batman the Knight. Number 14 is The Flash. So those not doing too badly. It was a smaller publishing week for DC though, all in.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of books out. Once you took out the ones we read, there was only a few ones that we didn't. So, yeah. So all the main books doing well enough in the grand scheme of things. But there you go. That is the Comixology Top 10, Matt's favorite segment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Connor says, "No, I like it the most. I'm the biggest fan of the top 10." Because no, it's me that likes it the most. It is I, Matthew, who loves Comixology Top 10 the most.
I'm just making sure I'm not in a fever dream right now. I don't have a fever, so I think I'm okay.
I know the feeling though, Matt.
Yeah.
There was a complaint actually in the last episode.
Why?
So someone got to me on Twitter, and I do actually feel very apologetic about this. I would like to formally apologize. Someone complained that I brought up Buffy and didn't call it a hit television show, and I would like to formally just address that and say I'm sorry I've let everyone down.
Hey, well, when you said that, I complained ago when I spoiled it last week by accident, and then thankfully it wasn't that.
No, that wasn't last week, was it?
No, he's saying he thought he might have spoiled something else.
Oh,
last
okay.
week.
I see.
And I couldn't remember, so when you said there was a complaint, but it was just about your Buffy, then that's
fine. All right, let's get into the solicits. So this is the August solicits. We'll work our way through as we always do. Which for a lot of the books amounts to us going ooh and ah at the covers, but
I hope you like Batman because I have a sneaking suspicion there'll be a lot of Batman in here.
It is DC. So that checks out.
It does stand for Detective Comics after all. So it starts off with Batman issue 126. We're in this weird phase where this is the second issue of Zdarsky's run that's been solicited, but we've not started it yet. So it's kind of like, we're excited about it, but we don't know what to say about it yet. So it's coming.
They're doing a series of swimsuit variants.
They are, yes.
And these are all going to be fantastic, I'm sure. One here, yes.
I've seen the Nightwing and the Supergirl one. Oh, this is the Batman and Catwoman one here. Yeah, very good. I do quite like the cover of Batman and Robin in the night sky with the city underneath them. That's quite pretty.
Second one.
That's the second one, yeah.
Can I say how funny it is that Batman's in briefs but still wearing the cowl?
That is pretty funny. You may. I'll allow it.
Thank you. He should have such a bad sunburn.
Yeah.
That man does not go out in the day very often, and now he's just wearing a cowl and briefs. Not smart.
Yeah, I think that's the In-Hayek Lee cover I'm looking at.
I think so, yeah. I was about to say that.
So there's a few good covers there, though. They're really playing them on... Because I guess these swimsuit covers won't count as the regular variant, so a lot of books will have a second variant this month.
Oh, it's not. The In-Hayek Lee is the really red one later on.
Oh, right. Oh, that one's still quite nice. But fair enough.
Yeah. Might be the Alex Garner one.
It may be. There's a mystery. Next up, though, and this will sort of spin it into a larger news story here, is we have a one-shot called Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler Issue 1. This is an $8, 64-page prestige one-shot. And they're going to be doing these, a bunch of these. It's like a series of one-shots. Luckily, they're not doing them like all in 1 month or anything, as I would have feared.
They're 8, one a month, so it's essentially a mini-series.
Yeah, so it's going to take over 8 months, which is fine. One of these a month is totally fine by me. But I'll give you the creative teams here for these. So you Batman the Riddler, Batman One Bad Day the Riddler. This is Tom King and Mitch Gerads, which, pretty superstar team.
Mm-hmm. What have they ever done?
Nothing of note.
Nothing.
Maybe something over somewhere else, who knows? But definitely not DC.
I mean, I've got this just strange feeling that they've done something else. Maybe I should go to...
It'd be a miracle if we could figure it out.
Then we got Batman One Bad Day.
About what?
Two-Face, which is Mariko Tamaki with Javier Fernandez and Jordi Belair. That's also a great goddamn team, actually.
Most of these are great teams. There's one in particular I'm very excited for.
Next up we got Batman One Bad Day, The Penguin by John Ridley, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Cam Smith, and Arif Prianto, sorry. Do you know what? I was doing so well with these awkward names in that batch until that last one. But yeah, so that's cool. And then we got Batman One Bad Day, Mr. Freeze, which is Jerry Duggan, Matteo Scalera, and Dave Stewart. And then we got...
I'm not huge on Duggan, but Scalera's art is gorgeous.
That cover,
Stewart's one of the best colorists in the game.
Yeah, that cover, which is it's just like Freeze's helmet, but it's actually a snow globe, and Batman and Robin are running it in the snow. That looks great.
I struggled my way through 6 issues of a Redondo book just because of Scalera art.
Which one was that?
Like something science.
Yeah, Black Science.
Black Science, yeah. Oh, absolutely gorgeous though.
Remender to dismember.
That's how it makes my brain feel reading his work. Just dismembered.
Yeah, Uncanny X-Force was fun.
I will take your word for it. I tried an issue and I was like, nope.
Next up, Batman One Bad Day Catwoman is G. Willow Wilson with Jamie McKelvey and Tamara Bonvillain. That's also a pretty interesting team.
That is easily the one I'm most excited for.
We got the Bane. I'll stop saying the full thing. It's just the Bane issue. Joshua Williamson, Howard Porter, and Timon Mori. That's probably the most normal batch of like names out of all this list.
Yeah.
That's like it's a standard DC book, right?
We got a Clayface issue with a very pretty cover, might I say. And this is by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. This is a bit of a normal team as well. Zdarsky.
Yeah, but it's still on the normal scale of things for DC, but less so.
Yes. And here to just save up the rear is the Ra's al Ghul issue, which is Tom Taylor, our patron saint, with Ivan Reis.
That's interesting because my article says Tom King.
It's Taylor.
It does, but it's Taylor because he announced it.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
very excited.
That's even funnier than
the one thing I knew going into this without having read it in advance is that both Taylor and King said they had a book in this batch, so I knew this is right. This is definitely Taylor.
Oh my god! What if they messed it up and this is supposed to be?
Unless it's the wrong way round. Maybe it's Taylor with Gerrards, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
No, because there's an image for that one.
Sure.
And that's the one in the Solicits. Whereas,
I know.
But yeah. That's funny because, like, this is the Newsarama article I'm looking at, and they have it listed as Tom King and Ivan Reis.
Nah, it's Tom Taylor. Definitely Tom Taylor. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're intentionally jabbing.
Slightly more exciting because Tom Taylor, but I mean, it's still a pretty it's a DC. That's a DC one shot.
I would say out of those 8, I'd say there's about 5 of them that sound quite exciting, which is actually quite good.
Yeah, there's at least like 3 or 4 that I'm like, oh, I'm really into those teams.
Yeah.
I feel like the last time they did something like this, I got a really fun Penguin story out of Jason Aaron before I realized who Jason Aaron was. So I came out, I think, 2008 because they were doing stuff for The Dark Knight. So, yeah.
That's just a neat idea. I think
no Joker issue.
That's
thank God. That's
also pretty cool, and it's I think having one of these a month is a special kind of not quite a Black Label book because it's not Black Label, but this sort of prestige one shot that's a complete story. I think these will be fun to talk about over the course of the months. So yeah, 1 or 2 might not be as good, but by and large they have an exciting set of names on them. So that's cool. That's Batman One Bad Day, starting in August with the Tom King and Mitch Gerrard's issue of the Riddler. So buckle in. Those, and there's more covers for the Riddler issue because it's in the Solicits with variants. I think the main one's the best still, with the hat with the question mark on it. But
the Marquez cover has me a little concerned about these, because it looks like a very young Riddler. It looks like they're doing a kid thing. And I'm like, are these all just going to be like origin stories?
No, I wonder if that's just in this case because the story happens to have a flashback to something that's relevant to him.
It could be, yeah.
And that's just what he's focusing on.
The cover is terrifying.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
So next up we got Batman Dear Detective issue 1. This is Lee Beharro. This is a Prestige Plus one shot, 56 pages. So you know what sort of art to get.
Yeah, this is the one we spoke about last week, where it was all the covers is making up the story.
Which is intriguing. This is an experiment, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So that's good. The cover, the cover obviously it's nice. It's Beharo, but
it's one of Bahama's Batman covers, right? You've seen
a gallery
literally
of
50 of them at this point.
yes, yeah, we haven't seen this particular. This one's just for this.
Yeah,
because it says "Dear Detective" on it.
It does, but you've seen ones very similar to this already.
Yes. And before someone gets snide in the comments, it's not just like plastered a logo on top. It's drawn into the cover. It's a neon sign in the image. So just before anyone gets snooty, before anyone pulls a Connor in chat, all right.
Would I do that? Don't answer that.
All right, Detective Comics 1063. Much like Batman, this is the second issue of the new team with Ram V and Albuquerque. Super excited for this still.
Yeah.
So. Cool. Flashpoint Beyond issue 4. I mean, there's a train wreck quality to this one.
I don't know. Dexter Dent.
Dexter Dent?
Yeah. That's the kid.
That's the kid, yeah. Yeah, he's around, yeah. This is from Flashpoint. This kid existing. That's fine.
Oh boy, there's Grifter.
There is kind of like a train wreck quality to it, though, I have to say.
It feels a lot like getting a trailer for a movie that I don't want to see. But I was like, that might be fun in the theater.
Yeah, and then we got Sword of Azrael, Dan Waters, Nicola Zizmizia. Yeah. I'll do my best. That's my best take of that.
Chamish, yeah. They that artist has been doing the Batman Zatanna story in Urban Legends. It's kind of a mixed bag, but maybe with Waters.
I absolutely love that variant cover, though.
It's
not what I was expecting.
I don't think you could get two different styles. It's so different than the regular and variant cover of this Azrael book.
I know there's a Middleton cover as well to come.
And a Joe Q cover. That.
Yeah.
What's going on? Joe Q at DC?
It took me a second to realize who Matt meant. There's a Joe Q.
Yeah.
Joe Q.
Joe Quesada.
Yeah. I don't know what Quesada is, but I just never heard him referred to as Joe Q before.
Chief at Marvel Comics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, before Kurosawa-san. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Next up. Wait, more Sword of Azrael?
That's the one-shot collecting the urban legends.
Okay.
Because that'll lead into this.
That's right. They said they were going to do that. Yes. And then the other thing that was announced this week from Tom Taylor, we already knew it was coming, of course. We just didn't have a name for it yet. But sort of the end of the Deceased trilogy is going to be an 8-issue miniseries called Deceased: War of the Undead Gods. It's got a great cover with Green Canary on the cover. So, I mean, yeah. What's to say? Deceased has been great. Can't wait to see how they wrap it up.
It says art by Andy Lanning. Have we ever seen art by Andy Lanning?
Don't think so.
Because Abbott and Lanning were a writing team, but I don't know any art, so I don't know if that's a misprint. Because they only bring up hair sign in the solicit text. So
I just googled him. It says he's done a lot of inking work.
Okay, so maybe he's inking.
Yeah, maybe he's just inking
art.
Yeah. That Green Canary cover is not the main one though. It just appears first on this. The main cover's got like a big dark side holding.
The main cover's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. But it is what it is. But no, he's making it very clear this is the ending. This was always kind of the planned end of the trilogy. The only problem I have with that phrasing is that I think the best part of Deceased was not part of the trilogy, but whatever.
It was the in between.
Yeah, the Unkillables was my favorite part. But that's cool. Excited for that. Always happy for more Tom Taylor in my DC weekly rotation. Dark Crisis issue 3. The event's still going to be going. No surprise. So we'll see how great Perez. I do actually kind of dig the cover. It's like the the Zod and these goons in the Superman movie, like being waiting for on trial. That cover is the Trinity. Kind of neat.
Yeah.
That's a nice cover.
I'm into it. The one shot for the month: Dark Crisis, World Without a Justice League, Green Lantern. This is the Philip Kennedy Johnson one, so excitement. Behold,
Fernando Blanco art too.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's
Who
cool.
sold their
But
soul
there
for
was
this?
a PKJ Bond book announced this week, so that's much more interesting.
no, it's not.
As someone who's not very enthusiastic about Dark Crisis, yes, it is.
I'm just saying it's hilarious that he's doing an Alien book and now he's doing a Bond book, and if there's justice in this world, he'll be announced for an Indiana Jones book, and then all three of us can be happy. You know,
Sure.
I know Pete's not reading the Alien book, but you know.
Yeah, in his defense though, that was LaRocca on art, and it was.
Yeah.
I want to read it, but the art is really putting me off. I'll probably stomach it at some point, but
I tried. No, don't recommend it.
So I'm just saying, if there's any justice in this world, that's all.
I do love that cover though. That squid.
If there's any justice in this world, James Bond will be jettisoned from the planet, and no one will ever make a James Bond thing ever again.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
I mean, nah. Would I rather they stop making James Bond thing or stop making Star Wars things? I'd probably pick Star Wars, but still.
Still not gonna happen though, is it?
If I was feeling better, I'd be fighting you right now. But let's move on.
That's okay. You don't mind when I take the piss out of Lord of the Rings, no matter, do you?
Hell no, I'll take all the piss.
Take all the piss.
It's fun. I'll be laughing when Amazon The Lord of the Rings show comes out and everyone's loving it, and it's like, oh, we're gonna bankroll 1,000 Lord of the Rings projects for the rest of time, and we'll have to live with it forever.
Ignore them all like I did the last Hobbit.
I mean,
I wish that I ignored the last Hobbit.
Yeah,
I wish that.
Too much of the last Hobbit movie.
I remember you telling me about dragon sickness, and I went and got popcorn to listen to you talk about it.
Oh dear. Dark Crisis Young Justice issue 3. That's the mini-series going alongside the event. So we talked about all this. When they released the checklist, we talked about everything that was coming for the Dark Crisis. It's fairly contained, which is nice. The one main book that is tying into it is The Flash for 3 issues, starting next month. And finally enough, Flash 785 is next here. They've intentionally put it next to that. There's a pretty fun cover here with Wally running with Jay and Jesse Quick with it's basically shattered glass. It's almost like Phantom Zone-esque with like the various super family members and Robin and Black Canary in the glass.
I really like the composition of the cover here. I really dislike how like all the flashes just kind of feel pasted on.
Yeah, like layers.
Yeah, like I can see the layers of the artwork, and it doesn't mesh very well.
Fair enough. I'll still take it over that other cover though, which is making me get not quite Rosmo, but there's some Rosmo-esque qualities about it.
I kind of dig that one.
Oh God, why are you the worst?
Style to it.
You're filthy.
Why are you the best at being the worst?
Filthy James Bond Star Wars fan.
Don't forget.
I'm sorry for liking popular things.
And you like wizards and shit.
Yeah, wizards and shit are cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like when Chris Jericho says he's a wizard, but I mean, other than that, that's...
Real quick, Pete, did you watch Rampage?
I skimmed through it.
So I was trying to show Ash that Statlander is siding more than a woman, which I think is really cool, right? And so she kept missing it because she kept looking down, so I had to rewind it. And I had to hear Jericho tell Ruby Soho he's a wizard and her almost breaking like 3 or 4 times, and it made my entire morning. So when you just you're a wizard.
I have to go back and watch that match thoroughly there to hear that, because that sounds quite good.
It's at the very, very beginning as she's getting into the ring, as Statlander is. So
all I'm hearing is you're a wizard. From like the Harry Potter, but I don't know if you ever saw the stupid meme video of it.
Yeah.
Where it just that one.
I don't know if I've seen
it's in my head now.
I also don't know if I've ever seen the meme video, but I've seen many a Photoshopped image that's subtitled it with something different, and I can hear it in my head because I can hear Robbie Coltrane say it.
Oh, so Harry. This is just Chris Jericho yelling that he's a wizard because he threw a fireball at someone. It's just the stupidest thing, but it works so well.
And he keeps threatening it again. He threatened on Wednesday. He's like, "I'll throw a fireball in your face because I'm a wizard."
Okay.
All right. DC Saved by the Belle Reve. Okay, that is a great title. What?
I just saw it. I'm in.
What is this? So this is a one shot, seemingly. 80-page one shot, and it's got a bunch of teams on it. We've got on writing, we've got Art Baltazar, Franco, Andrew Aiden, Dan Waters, Becky Cloonan, Brendan Fletcher, Tim Seeley, Brandon Thomas, Peter J. Tomasi, and Dave Vilgos. And then art by some of the same people, but also Nelson Daniel, Dion Faraya. I've probably also seen him in some. Carl Kersh, Mike Norton, Scott Collins, Craig Cermak. So, yeah, I'll read what this says. School's back in session, and we just know what you're waiting for. The bell to give someone Reeve Leaf. That's terrible. I love it, but it's terrible.
They're working hard for that one.
They're a bit, all right, you can't say we didn't try.
So DC Saved by the Bell Reeve halls are packed with 8 tales of school-time fun from around the DC universe. So basically, it's just a young Justice, young characters in the DC universe anthology.
Doing Tiny Titans. That's some of in the past.
I'm just pointing out though.
Cloonan stuff is Gotham Academy.
I'm just pointing out it's got nothing to do with Bell Reeve itself. They're just using that for the pun because it's DC related.
Can you blame them?
I can't. No, it's great.
There is a Suicide Squad story though, so
there is. There's an Azrael story. I'm assuming that's what Dan Waters is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to admit, I don't know if I can be bothered reading this. I don't think a lot of it appeals to me, but I do give points for the title.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, I don't know how much I care about reading it, especially if it comes out a busy week. But look, it's better than 80th anniversary special. Like just slapping any title on it, and this is a theme to it, and it's got some thought put in.
Also, I appreciate that Waters is becoming the Jean Paul guy, and the way that Rosenberg has become the Red Hood type guy. Like they're really ingratiating themselves into that character. So we're gonna keep getting more of these, little annuals. Not annuals, you know what I mean? Smaller
one shots, specials, whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Poison Ivy issue 3, G. Willow Wilson with Marcio Takara.
Mm-hmm.
What a cover.
Yeah, so I had a feeling people were going to splooge over this cover.
I mean, it is gorgeous.
In fact, Matt might literally do that when he gets his physical copy.
No, I don't ruin comics, thank you.
I do. I quite like the painted one where she's sort of like holding like a dying flower. It was also dark.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bit of a mood to it.
Oh, that's really nice as well. Yeah.
I kind of like that one.
I think I like all of them pretty much.
They're not bad. They're not bad. By any means. So, I'm just not I like Poison Ivy well enough, but I'm not a Poison Ivy simp like Matt is and Connor is. So.
Oh, hey, I got nothing on Matt.
No one does. Really.
I just like a lot of these covers, but I like a lot of the covers that we've talked about. So,
Sandman issue 1 facsimile edition. I'll just go on past that. You know what that is. Same with Detective Comics 27. Harley Quinn issue 18. Connor's favorite series.
But look who's on art.
Oh, it's not. It's
not Rosmo. So. It's fine. Although, what the hell is going on in that book?
Task Force XX, so Task Force 20.
Or Task Force XX.
Is she in the future?
I think so. Well, so she's headed to space on JLA Moonbase, Luke Fox.
Do you know what? Given the sense of humor that Harley has, they could totally do an arc after this called Task Force XXX and then just say, not a porn parody, and that would be quite funny.
That would be. Can we talk about how she's played hockey in the variant cover?
Oh, okay, so
cool.
So Matt's buying this for the variant cover then.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty cool considering Stephanie Phillips does play hockey.
Keep going. Keep going. I'm very scared.
What, another cover?
No. Keep going to the next book.
Harley Quinn 19! Yes!
Keep going.
20? What's happening? 21? It's weekly? It's weekly in August? An annual?
There's 5 issues. No. That is a shit ton of Harley Quinn in August.
Is it some sort of Harley...
None of it's Rosmo.
Is there some sort of Harley Quinn anniversary or something in August? What's happening?
Not that I'm aware of.
Would it be her 30th? She came out in 90.
92? Yeah, could be. That sounds kind of roughly right. I don't know. It is worth mentioning for the patron who makes Connor read Harley. You can't make him read 5 books in 1 month. You have to like spread them over 5 months.
I am going to be very far behind by the end of that month.
Yeah. Well, yes, yeah. It'll take you 5 months to get to the annual, and then there'll be 5 new regular issues by that point to do.
Yep.
That's pretty funny. That's a lot.
That's miserable. Why would you do this to me, DC? Why would you put that all out?
There's also Harley Quinn, the animated series, The Real Sidekicks of New Gotham Special, issue 1. It's an 80-page one-shot with a bunch of names on it.
Various writers from the show doing
that's surprising.
Short stories for the comic.
We do have other annuals, though, seemingly. We got the Flash 2022 annual. Jeremy Adams is writing with Sergio Acuna. This does not appear to be a tie-in to Dark Crisis. This will just be a standalone Wally West story.
That's another cover I love.
The main one?
Yeah.
Oh, there's only one, actually. So, yeah, it's a Wally and Linda story.
So,
cool.
I have a theory on what's going on with Linda.
Oh, we can talk about it when we get to the book.
Something going on with Linda?
Yeah.
Well, it's in the book, so we can just talk about it then, Matt.
Well, just remind me. Don't let me forget, because there's wording in here as I was looking at it before we recorded.
Okay.
Yeah. So just remind me when we get there.
Okay. All right. Next up, we got Wonder Girl 2022 annual, which is interesting because she doesn't actually have a book, but she has an annual.
That makes sense. It's like just throwing in a one-shot, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's fair enough. And then Olympus Rebirth issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a one-shot by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad. So presumably this is tying into Wonder Woman-esque stuff.
Yeah. So this has me and Connor written all over it.
Also, that main cover is phenomenal. I actually really like all the covers, but that first one in particular.
Yep. So Hippolyta has gotten into the Pantheon. Almost feel like she's swapped with Diana.
Well, right? She is deed, so, you know.
Yeah. So, Connor, what do we think she's become the goddess of?
I really don't know. I don't know who who are they going to shaft?
Shellfish.
Right. So, we'll see.
She's got the plants around her, so I'm wondering on the Tula Lote cover, that is.
But is that just because Tula Lote loves drawing Poison Ivy and she forgot she wasn't doing Poison Ivy for a minute?
It's possible, but it could be Demeter.
Then next up, we have a 4-issue mini starting called The New Champion of Shazam by Josie Campbell and art by Doc Shaner. So is this Shaner's book that he was supposed to be writing?
I'm assuming it was, but I thought he was writing it, yeah.
So this is Mary Marvel becoming the new main Shazam character, which is cool. I'm all about this premise, and I love Shaner art. So, and I think he's perfect for Shazam because he screams Silver Age, that character.
Do you know what else I love?
What do you love?
That Middleton variant.
I'm sure you do. It's very nice. I'm not going to deny it. Both covers are very good. And Gary Frank's got a cover, which
is fine. It's Gary Frank, but.
Yes, I'm all about this.
I feel I'm on the verge of Matt trying to get annoyed at me, but I'm all into this book. Yeah, it should be fun.
Wait, why am I getting annoyed? I had to listen for something. So it sounds like it went wrong.
It's fine. Just don't worry about it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Tales of the Human Target issue 1. We talked about this when it was announced. 1 page with different stories by Tom King with different artists, sort of filling in the gap a little bit between the two halves of the series. So that's cool. I don't know if we have more covers here to look at compared to before. Maybe we do. I don't know.
No.
But the main one's very nice. The main one with the pulpy looking cover is very good. And then they've got the trade for the first half of Human Target, unsurprisingly. Same with DC's Dark Knights of Steel Volume 1, first 6 issues, I presume. Mm-hmm. And then same with DC versus a lot of first halves of books that are about 10 to 12 issues getting their trades. Then we have Black Adam, the Justice Society Files Cyclone issue 1. Interesting. What is this?
Movie tie-in?
Oh, it's a movie tie-in.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it is because this is the Cyclone that was in the trailer.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So when she was young, Maxine Hunkel dreamed of flying with the Justice Society. Now she has the powers and opportunity. Will she say yes? Guest starring Hawkman on the road to Black Adam, plus continuing the Tess Adam backup story.
Although, I mean, I will point out here it's co-written by Brian Q. Miller, or he's doing one of the stories in it, perhaps. Whatever.
And Calvin Scott is not bad,
which is fine. But I'm not out Brian Q. Miller because I feel like he's barely done anything, especially with DC in a long ass time. So
and his last kind of stuff has been tie-in to other media. So I'll probably read this. I do like the character Cyclone.
Let Brian Q. Miller do more things, DC. Give him a character. Let him just go with it. Please and thank you. They're reprinting Black Adam JSA Black Rain. Cool. As a trade. You can tell the Black Adam movie's coming out around here because they got Black Adam Rise and Fall of an Empire trade.
His issues from 52.
That's weird. Well, he says issues. You mean just his parts of?
Yeah.
Because it was never a full issue, really.
Yeah. But his stuff.
Until World War III, which completely took up a week or a month, I can't remember.
That's a weird read. Like I would encourage people to not read this and just go read 52, but sure.
Yeah.
You got Black Adam, The Dark Age, new edition. So yeah, they're just reprint a bunch of stuff. Green Lantern Alliance. This is obviously one of these young adult graphic novels. Is this a new one though, or is it a reprint?
I think it's continuing because they're adding the. I remember Minley.
So it's a sequel.
Doing it before. Yeah, but we're getting a Flash and a Green Lantern together, which is cool. I always like that dynamic.
Classic pairing. Yeah,
there's a good Flash there. Yeah, it's really cool. On a similar vein, Diana and Nubia, Princesses of the Amazons. Another one of these young adult graphic novels. And then back out of the single issues, kicking off with Action Comics 1046, continuing the run. That's a
little bit disappointed Eaglesham on art and not Federici, as we're still in the War World stuff.
Yeah, but he's had to take an issue off before, so this might just be a one-time thing.
It feels like it's one of those built-in type because it feels like it's going to focus on Earth.
Yeah.
Wall.
Because it's still that's on the cover. It's a pretty nifty painted-looking cover, actually.
It is, yeah.
This has got the Supergirl swimsuit variant.
I haven't seen that yet. Very good. Yeah.
We got Aquaman and the Flash, Void Song, issue 3. This is Langsley and Kelly. Their miniseries. We got Batgirls issue 9. I don't love that cover, but I do admit the thought of Cass with a rubber ringy around her is quite funny.
The tone of it is hilarious.
Yeah, the second cover is actually much nicer, I think.
Yeah, I really like that second cover.
Yeah, that's really nice. So that is cool. Then we got Batman Beyond Neo Year issue 5, so that's still going. Batman Superman World's Finest issue 6. Notably,
not Dan Mora.
Yeah, it's switched to Travis Moore for this one.
Right.
Does sound like it might be a standalone issue, perhaps.
It does, yeah. So I wonder if issue 5 is the finale of the current arc.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you said, oh no.
That Dotson's cover is going to be my new wallpaper.
That is good.
It's Supergirl and Batgirl, Pete.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Dotsons are that good. Like you guys always seem to
the Dotsons.
love them. Like
because you have no taste.
They're just okay. I don't know. Look at that. I don't know. I don't get it.
There's a pulpy cheesecakiness to it, but it doesn't go. It rides that line, you know.
I like the main cover. That Dan Mora cover is really nice.
The Dan Mora cover is
always nice.
Yeah.
And I would guess this would be the swimsuit variant by Sandoval.
I saw them in the pool. Yeah.
Yeah, and Crypto up on a pool float, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, that's another fun one. I like Bruce holding his table tennis paddle. It's got a hole through it because of how Clark's hit it.
Yeah.
That's good. Batman Fortress issue 4, the Gary Whitta book, which will be starting soon, so we'll have some opinions
next
on
week,
it.
I believe.
Yeah. So really nice cover there though with Batman in his snow jacket.
That's a great snow jacket with the Bat logo still on it.
Yeah. Batman Killing Time issue 6, so that miniseries is wrapping up in August. So not much to say there. Batman the Night issue 8 out in August. Cool.
Feels very Ra's presence.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, each issue's been kind of like a different teacher. I mean, I know we've kind of had Raz already, but maybe like we'll eventually go back to him for what it says in the cover, his final test.
I might be completely off, but just the hood and the dark smile. So
yeah, maybe it's actually someone else. Batman Urban Legends issue 18, still going. A string of new sagas begins, so there's a few new stories in this one. Tiny Howard and Blake Howard doing a Batman story. Batman the Outsiders have to save Signal from burning out. A new mystery begins starring Alfred Pennyworth before its passing from All-Star creative team of Chris Burnham. And a story from Batman's past, the Dark Knight must team up with Etrigan, the demon, to stop the reincarnators. So
they sound fun enough, all of them.
I feel like Etrigan's just this character that constantly shows up in these little like short stories and anthology books now.
Because he's cool, and they know that people will buy the Etrigan story.
Well, there's also that you don't want to write him rhyming all the time, so you just get him in small doses.
Okay, I can see that. Batman White Knight presents Red Hood issue 2, so the next part of that mini is going along. Black Adam issue 3 from Priest, which again not started yet, but we'll get into it. Very interesting cover there with it's a very painted cover, but it's Black Adam looking like he's let's be honest, it's a sort of like pose someone has when they've just slit their wrist, to be honest, like the way he's dangling his arm at the bathtub.
To borrow a phrase from the movie Locke, he is distressed.
Yes.
Honestly, with the way he's holding his arm further up, it looks more like a drug use.
Yeah, or even like he's having a heart attack, the way that you feel it in your arm first, kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, the going through the covers, there's a few real nice ones.
Oh, the red one.
With the sun behind. Oh, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and there's a swimsuit variant as well. And he's hot tub. So, very good.
Lou Pacino's a perfect artist for a swimsuit variant.
Yep.
Blood Syndicate Season 1, Issue 4. So that's continuing on. Catwoman 46, the book that keeps having nice covers, but none of us wanted to keep reading. And there is a swimsuit cover, of course. Although, to be honest, like I feel like this swimsuit cover could literally be the variant to any Catwoman cover because it's something they do so often with her. These types of covers.
It is, yeah.
But that's cool. Catwoman Lonely City issue 4, the final of the Black Label series, is coming in August, as we knew anyway. But nice to see it in the Solicits all the same. DC vs. Vampires issue 8 of 12 is coming. Not much to add.
Man, more great covers.
DC vs. Vampires All Out War issue 2. This is the second of the 6-issue miniseries running alongside the second half of the main book. So that's also very, very neat. There's a nice Mary Marvel cover on that one, actually. I mean, her face is a little bit.
I do like that Mary Marvel cover, and then there's a Stoko cover as well.
Oh yeah,
with Booster.
A Booster covered in gunk
and goop. Yeah.
Dual wielding his stakes.
That sounds like Connor at a buffet. Dual wielding his stakes.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah. Or Matt eats a lot of meat too, I suppose. I don't know why I specifically singled out Connor.
Yeah,
and you said it like it was like insulting. It's like, yeah, damn right, I load up on steak at a buffet.
DC Mech issue 2. So we'll see how this goes. Is that Ares? Is that a Mech Ares that's on the cover?
It looks like it might be, yeah. I love the big giant Flash Gundam on the second one.
Oh, I didn't even look at that cover yet. Oh, yeah, very good.
Like, I get that this might not be for everyone, but that definitely feels appropriate for the vibe that it should be aiming
Given
for.
Given
how do this.
Shockingly good Jurassic League has been, this has got a lot to live up to even.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as good as Jurassic League.
Yeah.
A few things will be, but you can hope.
Yeah, Deathstroke Inc. issue 12. Got Green Arrow on the cover there. Makes sense given that Dinah's involved, that Oliver eventually is getting.
This is still the Deathstroke Year 1 story.
It is, yeah.
I see.
It's a good cover, though.
The swimsuit cover cracks me up.
That's great, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the swimsuit cover. Oh, yeah,
He's feeding a man to a shark off of a
That's not
yacht.
not bad.
Yeah.
Joe, I saw a Photoshop this week actually. Yeah, so yeah, that towards the end of Jaws, the shark sort of tipping the boat and kind of chomping up it. I saw someone kind of like take like a sort of side shot of that, but Photoshop Daniel from the Karate Kid doing his pose on the tip of the boat as if he's going to like kick the shark. I thought it was quite good.
That's hilarious.
I was like, Bruce stands no chance.
No.
Duo issue 4, the Greg Pak book, still going on. Fables issue 154, chugging along nicely. Future State Gotham issue 16. I am shocked that still doesn't say final issue, but there it is.
Good on them.
I Am Batman issue 12. That's a neat cover, actually, having his bike.
Not the final issue for that either, which is interesting, because if it was going to be one around here, you'd expect it to be at 12.
Yeah.
Maybe 18 then.
Yeah, I mean, it means you've probably got another arc out of it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes issue 6, which is the final issue of that miniseries from Bendis.
Matt's favourite book is coming to an end.
Yep. Multiversity Teen Justice issue 3. Issue 3. So this hasn't started yet, so we
no.
I'm not sure how excited we are to try it, admittedly, but
not massively.
I like the colours on that cover.
It says there's a Stephanie Hans variant, so yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah. Naomi season 2 issue 6. So another Bendis book's coming to an end in August.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's going to have nothing the month after.
That's all. Yeah, but that's the scary part. Is like what's getting announced in September for Bendis.
Nothing. He's going.
What's he been given?
I joke, but it's actually possible at this point.
It's been long enough, that he could leave now. But I'm just, there's also a chance that they'll announce 3 new Bendis books in September.
How dare you?
Yes.
How dare you put that out into the universe?
What else does Connor like that he can ruin?
Everything. Anything. Just let him have Red Hood and leave me alone.
Oh dear. Nightwing issue.
This is Harley Quinn.
Nightwing issue 95. Taylor Redondo. We know the just at this point. I do love that cover though. So it's like a street work sign. But instead of like the men at work, it's like a symbol that means it's sort of clearly looks like Nightwing swinging.
And it's him swinging behind it in the exact same pose.
That is wonderful. The variant's quite nice as well. Him, and silhouette.
I like the third one with him eating the bagel.
And the I was gonna say donut. You're right, it's a bagel. That's disappointing.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it is a bagel.
Yeah, and the swimsuit cover, of course, which everyone will,
Nicholas Scott draws a great Dick Grayson. This is well known.
Yes. There's his ass in all its glory.
I mean, she is the one who started that whole thing off.
Yep.
Can bounce a quarter off of it.
Nubia Queen of the Amazons issue 3 of 4 up next. We got Robin issue 17.
Lord Deathman.
Sometimes it's nice to have a simple cover with just a white background like that. I think it sticks out. Rogues issue 4, the final issue of the Williamson Rogues Black Label series. Really nice cover as well, with like Captain Cold's goggles and like weapon just lying on the ground as if, oh no, something bad's happened.
I really like the variant as well.
Pete, he's got the dynamite ring.
The beautiful dynamite diamond ring, yes.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's fighting a pig? Is Wardlow on the other side of the page?
Wardlow versus Grodd. I'd pay money.
Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Issue 117. Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue 14. Just see if there's anything particular. The variant with the Kid John with the S.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice. Well, I do like that they're teasing giving Jay a actual superhero costume and stuff.
There's something about it mentions here, embrace his powers and become the hero, but the way this cover is, it makes me go, can he phase through dimensions?
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out. I mean, Kitty Pryde once phased a missile through Earth, so
she did.
And astonishing. So
Task Force Z issue 11, penultimate issue of that series. So cool.
So fun, and looks like we have the return of Gotham Boy, or just Gotham. There, he's zombified.
Yeah, I will say I don't appreciate the return of the Bat Rabbit mech suit. and the variant cover.
But you know what? With that company being the crux of it all, I do like that the rookie being there, and this is almost like a send up to that era. So that's fine with Bloom and all of that. But yeah, we'll see.
Jurassic League issue 4.
Hey,
it
oh
gives
my
us
God.
the names of some of the ones that we didn't know.
Oh, does it? Let me see. Creative Batsaur, One Dawn, and Superstar welcomes a few new monstrous members in the form of Aquinx. Aquinix, okay.
Like Baryonyx.
Flash Raptor. And Green Torch. Okay.
And the Green Torch looks like he's taking that guy to Suplex City.
Yeah, that's a German suplex if I ever saw one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's
a Kateshta deadlift one, Matt, just to give it a bit more style. The other cover with all the chaos going on is quite good, with the full Justice League flying around.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the Red Lantern going to be called? Oh, there's so many creatures to name.
Well, it's a Carnotaurus, so we'll have some fun with that, I'm sure. Carnotaurus, something, I don't know.
Good stuff. Yeah, okay. Why me? Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country issue 5.
Stunning cover again.
The Swamp Thing issue 16, the final issue of Ramvi's Swamp Thing, sadly, but
for now,
all good things. I love that second cover. It's Swamp Thing with all the mechanical parts around him.
Yeah.
That is good, yeah.
Looks like he's phasing into it too, like they're trying to take over him.
Yeah. I mean, Connor wasn't here for the last issue, but me and Matt both gave it 10s. So
I haven't read it yet.
Oh well.
So
brother,
let's just say we love the ideas it presented.
Oh, I suspect I will enjoy it then.
Wonder Woman issue 790. We're getting close to 800 though. Just dawning on me now. So yeah, I mean it's still another 10 months, admittedly, but that's still relatively close.
Hey, you never know. They might surprise us with a Wonder Woman month like Harley Quinn. Blast through 5 issues in a month.
So we're getting Villainy Inc. stuff, which obviously has been set up.
Cover is very reminiscent of, is it the Hikatea?
Yeah, it's the start of Rucka's Wonder Woman run.
But it's a very similar cover to that, right? It
is, but it looks like Psycho's enjoying it way more than Bruce ever did. So she better watch out.
He's like, yeah, whip me with that gold lasso.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting parallel.
Yeah, I do like the variant cover though too, with her holding the tarot card.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Then we got Young Justice Targets issue 2.
That's the cartoon tie-in.
Yeah, it's the show continuity.
Yeah, and then that's single issues. So you got American Vampire Omnibus Volume 1.
Oh, they're reprinting that at last.
Yeah. Nice. So this has got 1 to 27 in the first 2 miniseries. And
then Omnibus Volume 2, which is the rest of it.
Oh yeah, there you go. Which includes Second Cycle and whatever else that came out. Yeah.
This is the one I need because this is where I stopped reading. So
yeah, issue 28 to 34, the original series, then some one-shots, anthologies, Second Cycle 1 to 11, and 76 issues 1 to 10. Yeah, so
to be fair, 2 Omnis to collect that whole thing like that—that's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah,
I might pick them up myself.
Yeah, so to put it in sort of trades, the first volume is the first 5 trades, and then the rest of it's the second volume. So
yeah,
neat.
I have 6 trades, so.
I mean, they're both just under 1,000 pages long, give or take.
So that's a good split. Yeah. Okay. So Batman Black and White collected. I assume this is the newer Black and White issues that came out.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Then we got Arkham Rising volume of Detective Comics from Tamaki. Cool. This looks like it's up to the start of the tower, so the tower will be its own thing presumably after this.
Yeah, I'd have thought so.
Yeah. And then we got a new version of Hush, 20th anniversary edition. Sure, that'll be reprinted forever. As well, funny enough, Long Halloween.
It says deluxe edition, so it might be the oversized hardcover.
Oh, it says it's 6 5/8 by 10 by 3/16. So
I think that's the regular one, isn't it?
Oh, actually, no, I tell a lie. So they've confused this a little bit by adding Long Halloween in a title. So this is actually just Haunted Night, which was the 3 one-shots they did before they did Long Halloween. but they're trying to use the Long Halloween name to kind of prop it up a little bit here.
So I never read these, but what's the Bat Ape? Oh wait, never mind. That's the wrong book.
I was like, what are you on about?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And then I look at the next one. He's on the Silver Age omnibus. So of course there's a Bat Ape in that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read Haunted Night. I remember there's a story with Barbara that involves Mad Hatter, which I remember being all right. But they're definitely not as memorable as Long Halloween and Dark Victory, which are the two great, books.
Yeah,
but...
you have Batman Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween Special 1, Batman Madness, The Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween Special number 1, and Batman Ghosts, A Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween Special. So they have Ghost, Madness, and the original.
It was basically the 3 years before Long Halloween. They did one each Halloween, and then they did Long Halloween, which obviously lasted a whole year. It's actually really cool they're doing a Silver Age omnibus, because it means they're finally getting into that era, because they spent a long time going through all the Golden Age stuff, and they finished it. I think I assume they did after starting Silver Age.
I mean, this has the Rainbow Batman in it too, so that's pretty cool.
So it's cool that eventually, because of remastering all these, and they'll always should make it to the digital side of things, that eventually you will have every single issue of Batman, Detective, Superman Action available. Which admittedly, you have to be a crazy person to actually read the whole run of all those.
But there are people out there.
They are, but even just for research sake, being able to pick out any issue at a moment's notice, they should be available. So it's good stuff. Urban Legends Volume 3, obviously just collecting more of the Urban Legends stuff.
That has the Zatanna Batman and the Mark Russell, which someone asked him if there's plans, and he said yes. But they just have to get time. The Mark Russell story.
That's cool.
That's good.
Blue and Gold's been collected. Makes sense.
When's that out? So I'll finally be able to read it. It's September. Great.
End of September, yeah.
Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, book 1. So is this the start of the Jaime Reyes stuff from?
I believe so. Yeah. It's Stephan and Rogers with Hamner, Albuquerque, Rouleau.
That's cool. So I wonder if they'll keep going all the way into all the the New 52 book and the Rebirth
12 issues.
book.
So they're obviously some of their longer running series with the thicker trades have kind of wrapped up over the last year or so.
Mm.
So it's maybe okay, we'll look at what else we can try and see if their audiences are receptive to it.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget Jaime Reyes is a character that's out there. And so it's good that they put these out every so often to remind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Future State Gotham Volume 2, The Next Joker, Hardware Season 1's getting collected, Justice League Incarnate being collected, straightforward stuff here. Nubia and the Amazons collected. Phantom Stranger Omnibus, that's a neat book to see here. It's got collecting a lot of different things here. You've got a 6-issue miniseries from 52, 41 issues of just an ongoing book. That started in 1969, and then just some Brave and the Bold issues that he happened to be in, some other things.
Just issues of other things that you have to show up in here or there.
13 issues of Saga of the Swamp Thing.
Yeah, it's actually quite a big book. It's
1,200 pages. Yeah.
Don't drop that on your foot.
Yeah,
I
have read very little Phantom Stranger. He's popped up in things that I've read. I've never really delved into him on his own, but
reminding Tim that in the New 52 he's meant to be Judas.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that was.
And I read all that stuff. That was where that was all relevant, and I just forgot
it because you had to remember other things, Cotter. So it just went away.
Yeah. Punchline: The Trial of Alexis K. So this is all the backups from Joker, all 15 issues, plus some stuff from the 8th anniversary issues. So it makes sense this is getting a separate trade on its own.
It does. Speaking of Joker, I'll throw in the extra news story I saw while we're on it. The final issue, which is 15, has been delayed a few weeks. So it's coming out at the end of June now instead of mid-June. And it's added extra pages. Just as it's now 48 pages, and it is now $6.99.
Yeah, I wonder if that's why there's a delay, because they're just like, hey, there's some extra pages to draw in ink, so I have a couple extra weeks.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe that's simple.
It's going to leave it a little over 2 months since the previous issue, like from 14 to 15. But yeah.
Robin Volume 2, I Am Robin. Speaks for itself. Robin's Being Robin, that's the Tim Seeley book that we all didn't really like that much. Suicide Squad King Shark miniseries being collected. Task Force Z Volume 1. Straightforward. The Flash by Mark Waid Omnibus Volume 1. So they already did the thick trades of this, which I think that ended up as 7. No, it was 8 books. So it ended up as 8 full books trades. So if I look at these issue numbers here, is this 3 of those thick trades? I think it is.
62 to 91's about 28, right?
Yeah, or is this just the first 2? Or is it maybe
you usually get 12 or so issues in those thick trades?
Yeah.
So,
I'm wondering if they're going to split into 3 omnibuses, so it won't actually line up with the thick trades perfectly, because there was 8 of those.
Right.
They might split it a little differently, so it's like a
maybe.
Because I'm pretty sure, because this is about 1,000 pages.
1,088.
Yeah. And that sounds like more than 2 of those trades, but I don't know if it's quite 3 of them. So I'm thinking they're maybe split it differently.
A 6-issue trade is about 150 odd pages usually, right, or something like that.
Yeah, but some of those thick trades were bigger because they had like extra one shots and stuff in them.
They were, but I'm thinking they're usually around 300 to 350. So 3 of those is going to be around 1,050.
But they've got 8 books though. So if they have 3 in this first one, then how do they split the other 5? Like maybe it's just.
They've done this before, where they've done like just a smaller 3rd volume. So 3, and a 2.
Oh sure. Maybe they'll do that. I don't know. Or maybe some of those later thick trades were thicker on the early ones, so it'll work out easier. Because they did start to make them bigger. Because at first they were really strictly sticking to about 12 issues worth, but as time went on, they were willing to go to about 16. So I'm wondering if some of the later ones are a bit meatier. It's cool anyway. If I was collecting hardcovers right now, I'd be all over this. So that's neat, especially since the John's Flash omnibus runs readily available. Or at least it was. It has been multiple times. Titans United getting collected. Trial of the Amazons getting collected. War for Earth 3, which was the crossover that was in a couple of books recently that we didn't want to read. And then Wonder Woman by George Perez Omnibus 2022 edition.
Reprint, yeah.
This is just volume 1, because that was more than one volume.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just volume 1, yeah.
Either volume 2 is still in print, or they'll announce that later.
Yeah, a bit later. I like that they're keeping these important runs in omnibus forms in print by reprinting them every so often. It's really good. And speaking of, the Golden Age Omnibus Volume 5 for Wonder Woman has been solicited here. And again, I like that they're committing to these and getting through them all. So maybe it won't be too long before we get Silver Age. That said, they're only in Volume 5 of this, so we'll see.
Yeah, what would that take us to? We're still in the early 50s, it says. Yeah.
Early 50s, yeah. So you can just look up Wonder Woman issue 47, see when that came out. That's the last issue of that book in it. So, yeah, I mean, it's really nice that they've committed to that. It does these lines, but cool. And it'll just make DC Universe even better when all these remastered issues eventually, fill it up. So, very cool. But that does, I believe, wrap up the solicits for August. So, there we go. All done. All right. Well, I guess we'll get into the books then. And I'm pausing because I closed my tab with my my list of books on it. So just I'm stalling for a few seconds while I get back to it. Here we go. All right. Let's talk about comics then.
If we must.
Nightwing issue 92. Tom Taylor writing, Bruno Redondo on the art. Continuing, quite frankly, one of my favorite runs that I've ever read at this point, to be honest.
It just keeps getting better.
it's just progressing in such a natural way that makes sense. It's giving me feels. This issue opens with a flashback to a night when Batgirl and Robin were out in Gotham. Batman was doing stuff as well,
They're
and
in
there
a
was
blackout, which I feel there's a tie.
there's probably a
somewhere.
there's probably a timeline you can
Which
this
is
to.
cool.
But there's a guy being chased by a bunch of thugs. Robin wants to jump down. Batman says it's too many. You have to just hold back. And he's like, no, I leap in. That's what I do. It's kind of a theme of the issue. And he does so. He takes on a lot of them, but he's starting to get beat up. And Batgirl shows up in time. Again, they're all in classic suits here. Obviously, it's a flashback.
Yeah.
And she throws a batarang and saves him. But the important part of all this is Batman's pissed that Robin betrayed what he said to do, and he wants to yell at him for it. And Alfred, the hero that he is, stands his ground at the door and says, "You're not talking to him unless you're only getting in there to comfort him." And
he better be nice.
There's 2 panels on this first page with Alfred here that I absolutely love. One is the first one. It's Batman just popping up from round the clock. It's just such a like surreal, almost looking panel where he's just popping his head out from around the clock. It looks quite comical.
So we all love Redondo's style of art, right? But what gets me on this is the colors.
It's really flat colors.
It's really flat, and it makes Redondo's art look Silver Agey, which fits the story. And it's just the stuff with the color dots too, working its way in. It makes it feel like it's an older story, even though we're reading this brand new book. And they did such a good job.
Flat block colors, very faded. It's very effective stuff. And then honestly, the bottom panel of Batman just towering over Alfred.
Yeah,
great.
It surprises me that there's not more miniseries that are done entirely in this style for the sake of like nostalgia.
Yeah, right. That would be. I mean, I would read them.
It does surprise me.
Teen Titans kind of book.
Yeah. For me, the winner of this page is just a close-up panel of Alfred saying, "Take off the cowl, leave your disapproval at the door, and do not enter," with that stern look of, "No, you're not getting past me. I don't care that you're Batman."
Yeah, Alfred's playing his dad card, right? Like, this is like, I know you're upset at your son, but like, come on, I raised you, and I know it's good.
The page turn is great because you turn the page, and lo and behold, Batman's in the room with Dick, and his cowl's off. So Alfred won. That's how it reveals that Alfred won. It's really neat. Anyway, Batman tries to tell him that sometimes you can't protect everyone, and Dick sort of defiantly says, "I can try," and that leads us into the present day story. Dick and Babs walking the dog through Haven, which
is their new community.
Yeah, and
it's not quite a community center, but it's like
it's like
centerpiece.
Yeah, it's like food stalls and stuff that's been paid for so that these people can eat and things like that. Let's point out the Perez tribute on this page.
And he looks as we remember him, right? In pictures, the line shirt, big bright smile.
Yep.
And when they drew this up, they knew he was sick, but he hadn't passed yet.
In fact, is that Wolfman on the other side? I just noticed it now. Yeah, I didn't notice that the first time I read it.
It's Marvin George's pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've seen that before in this run, the Marvin George's pizza. So the fact that they have a food stall set up at Haven too is fun continuity.
And Dick just waving over to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's those it made me feel real nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So Bruce is there looking inconspicuous in his sunglasses. I do love the over the shoulder shot of Nightwing looking at Ace like, "Oh, you want a square go? Is this it?"
I don't know that. I think if Nightwing's a lot like my rescue, she thinks every dog's her friend. So she wants to be friends with Ace. So, but I also like seeing that that Bruce brought out his dog to the community event,
rocking the turtleneck.
Yeah, in the middle of the day.
Hey, he's been taking fashion advice from Archie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah, to talk a little bit about the statue of Alfred that Dick had put up, and Bruce is like, he wouldn't approve of that. He's like, yeah, but it's not for him, it's for us.
Right.
I hate how there's people on Twitter who are not reading this book, clearly. Who, you know, there's a section of Twitter who just hates Tom Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah. We call them idiots.
Furious at this page with this statue of Alfred, because like, why would Alfred have a statue? Why would that make any sense? as
So
if this isn't set up in the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation.
yeah,
Like there's context for this.
right. And even in like let's look at the argument, right? Um, everyone knows that Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson are tied together, and that through whatever, right? And that Alfred Pennyworth worked for Bruce Wayne. So of course, if he worked for Bruce, he worked with Dick. Therefore, wanting to memorialize him, it even works if you know nothing, right? Like,
Yeah, that does not stop the morons on the internet.
no,
But nothing ever does. Let's be honest.
No.
Whatever. So I do love that both dogs start growling at the same time.
Yeah.
It's because Blockbuster's there, and I love this kind of, because obviously we left Blockbuster off in this place where it's like, you're going to have to do this yourself. You're going to have to kill Dick yourself. So we know that he's like at this like fever pitch, but he's just coming down for the casual, I'm going to look my enemy in the eye and make with a small talk kind of moment.
One of the best dialogue transitions that this book's had, yeah, because Babs says Dick, and then the next panel is Blockbuster saying Grayson. That's just fantastic.
Blockbuster is giving me dollar store Kingpin vibes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I love it.
Am I going to be a heel here and say that Blockbuster's better than Kingpin?
Yeah.
Look, I know we're on a DC podcast, but come on.
No, if you say Lex Luthor's better than Kingpin, 100%.
Oh yeah, no, Lex Luthor. He is better than Kingpin.
Flex, right? But I do. Dick Grayson and Blockbuster are very much in that mold, though, like of Matt Murdock, and
they are. But Blockbuster wishes he could be Kingpin.
Right, and that's why I love him, because he is dollar store and that he has a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? And I like here that he's not like early in Rebirth. We had that story about his brother and how he's kind of Hulk-like and would transform. I just like it that he's this big pink-faced guy with a mullet, right, in a white suit. He's just this big hulky mass. Yeah. And that's it. Like, yeah, he's super strong and whatnot, but his power is more his influence. So
he makes a bunch of thinly veiled threats. Bruce gets all father protective and steps in front of Dick, which I kind of like. They've got a special guest coming. John comes down. He's a special guest for opening day, and he's doing the meet and greet and all the rest of it. I did love Babs saying to Blockbuster, "Do you want to go and ask him for a selfie?"
Yeah.
That was a good chuckle for me. Of course, we see later on what Blockbuster's plan is. He's got a bunch of hooligans to go in and graffiti up the place and just kind of wreck it. And
under the direction of the police commissioner, so I'm sure that's going to be relevant later.
Oh, of course.
Presumably they're all police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've turned off all the cameras or spray painted all the cameras in the area so they can't see, but Babs has got cameras there just fine. Dick jumps down, great 2-page spread saying he leaps in, which ties it back nicely to the flashback.
I would like the version of this without the one single text box. I'm sure that it's probably already floating around out there.
We talked about the flat colors in the flashback and how opposite this is.
Like, do you know what I love about it is like the buildings close to the the camera, as it were, are lit by the street lights, so they've got this sort of orange glow to pinkiness to them, but all the ones in the background are just blue from the night sky. Blue.
And it works with this gradient, and everything's so vibrant, and it's almost a relaxing picture to look at.
Yeah,
it is, and I love that it's very clearly evoking the Dark Knight Returns pose. Right, that leap through the sky with the lightning, but like I say, it's tranquil and peaceful compared to the
storm.
It's not a storm, It's not thunder,
yeah. And it's kind of, that's why Dick works with Bruce, right? Is they what's the word I'm looking for?
Balance.
Complement each other.
Yeah.
In that way. So
yeah, and we get a fun sequence of him coming down and beating up the thugs, scaring them off. Taking off their masks so that the cameras can get a good look at them.
Complete with 60s style onomatopoeia.
Yeah, I do. It's one of those things where, and the book's done this a lot, but this thing where it breaks up the panels and you see sort of the zip line kind of like tension changing from panel to panel as he's swinging in. I really like that. It's all good stuff. Yeah. By the way, did anyone get a good look at what Bab's shirt says? Because I don't feel like any of the panels actually show it properly.
No, I can't. I was wondering that too.
It says I killed something, but I don't know what it says she killed.
Mm.
There was a band called I Killed the Prom Queen, so maybe that's what it is.
Maybe I'm sure
it definitely has OM underneath.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a joke or maybe a reference to this band, but you know, whatever. The end of the issue though is that Blockbuster gets a visitor. He's not happy that Nightwing's intervened in the Haven sort of plans. And would you believe it? It's Heartless who's taken out a bunch of his men, but says that he's got a proposal for Blockbuster. So this is your classic part of the story where your scary villain and your more traditional mob boss villain might be teaming up in some form.
After the previous issue, he needs someone to kill Dick Grayson for him now.
He does. Oh yeah, Blockbuster's got all the reason in the world to be like, yes, go and have him. So
exactly.
It makes sense. It is interesting, Heartless coming to Blockbuster though. Like, why does he feel like he needs help, or is there something he feels he can gain from Blockbuster being involved with these plans now?
That's a good question.
He's proven that Blockbuster can't stop him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be in his I can't talk today. Favor to work with Heartless. Anyways, I Killed the Prom Queen is an Australian band. They're metalcore from Adelaide. So I would guess that's the shirt she's wearing.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Which is cool. So I wonder if that's Redondo working that in, or if Taylor had some, maybe he's pals with them. So I don't know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I love this issue, honestly. Like it's not even like it's got some of the more showstoppy kind of segments that some other issues have had, but it's just it's playing off and everything so well. It's giving us more of that heart-wrenching Alfred stuff that you can slip in there really easily. The art's gorgeous. The action sequence of just Dick jumping down from a building to take on a couple of regular thugs is pretty exquisite in how it's laid out, and the sequencing of it. There's and all the stuff with Blockbuster and his continued frustration and him like turning to more extreme measures to try and take out Dick, which will lead him to like accepting this proposal presumably from Heartless, is all just it's been building up so expertly. I think that
I have to say I did have some pacing issues with this one, in the same way that I've had with the occasional Tom Taylor issue, here or there, where it felt very dense in the front half and then really fast in the back half, and it felt really like it ended really abruptly because of that. It kind of felt a little bit uneven in the pacing of the issue overall, even though I'd like all of the content. Just the pacing of it felt a little bit off for me.
But we can rate the issue. Matt, what would you like to give Nightwing?
9.5, but that might just be because I read it while not feeling well. It made me feel a little bit better. That one of my favorite writers is tackling one of my favorite characters in every issue. Just is near perfect. So
yeah, this in Action Comics at the same time right now is a bit of a couple of all timers. It's quite special. Connor, what are you giving this issue?
I liked it still. I think it's a very good issue of Nightwing as expected, but I did have those pacing problems. So I'm going to give it an 8, which it's still like a very good book, but Jesus, 9.5 makes me look miserable after that.
I mean, you are miserable.
Well, you are.
Oh, I am. I don't usually look it quite that much.
Why do you hate this issue of Nightwing, Connor? Come on.
I know. I feel like that's what it looks like I do now. Like, it's very good.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with an 8.5, but I am going to slap it with a straight 9. I felt nothing but joy reading this, and it was the comic highlight of the month for me is Tom Taylor's Nightwing. So
yeah,
let's go.
Well, that's just because PKJ's Bond book isn't out yet.
So now I have to look up I Killed the Prom Queen, see if they're my kind of metalcore.
I might have to put them on right now.
Maybe figure this out.
Oh, bloody hell. All right. The Flash, 782, Jeremy Adams writing with Fernando Passarin on the art. So this is following up the Girder stuff from last issue with Wally with Ace.
And Ace.
If we're calling that now.
Not the Bad Hound, the Flash, the Kid Flash.
Yes, Kid Flash Ace.
I love their dynamic. It's such it's still Wally and Barry, right? But it's just tilted so much. Is that Kid Flash is bothered by Wally, but at the end of the day, they're family.
It did definitely smooth out a lot more in this issue compared to last. Meanwhile, we've got stuff going on with Linda and the kids, which is actually what we start off. Linda's using her newfound powers to write her book really fast. And it's still secretive. No one knows about it yet. She's keeping it to herself, and she takes the kids out for ice cream. Wally and Wallace deal with Girder. They make him a big magnet, which is a great panel actually. The page of like the cars like smashing into him. I was like, okay, I love it. That was inventive
because they're up to something, right? And it's them using the Flash science stuff, which I do love.
Yeah, it's that panel of them like Wally's got his arm on Wallace's shoulder, and he's just like wait for it, and they're both smirking, and they're just waiting for the magnetism to kick in, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
that's fun.
It's this is a character that likes being the Flash, and we've missed that, right, for a while. That's why I think we love Wally. Is like he loves being a superhero. So to that panel specifically, I really liked.
Yeah. And we go back to Linda and the kids, and they're playing around, and they're using their powers, and Irie runs out into the street and almost is about to get hit by a car, and Linda speeds out to like move her, and then they're like, Mom, you just use super speed. What's going on? And she's like, okay, I guess we have to have a talk. The big plot thing of the issue, which, funnily enough, because we're switching to Dark Crisis stuff for the next 3 issues, and there's a phone call at the end that sort of leads Wally on that path. This is probably stuff we're going to deal with after that, but it is setting some intriguing stuff, and not that, Warden Wolf being a prick and being up to shady things in Iron Heights is anything new necessarily.
No, but he's working with Lashina, who's a Fury from Apocalypse.
And he wants He wants to run for mayor. I don't know if they've done that before. Wolf running for mayor.
Yeah. I don't know that, so I'm wondering if this is Intergang type of stuff. Intergang infiltrating Central or Keystone, whichever. Where's Iron Heights is in Keystone, right? I think.
I want to say
Twin Cities.
Yeah, I want to say that it might technically, like, it's probably officially in one of them, but I think because it's on its own little island off the coast, it might actually be equally close to both of them.
I like the idea that it's the exact midpoint between Central and Keystone.
Oh sure, yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was her being there specifically. I think is telling. So that's cool.
Yeah, I do love Wallace comes up to the guards and says, hey, you need to open that door, we've got Girder, but you're going to have to open the door because he's going to be coming in fast. Because he had a plan, which was basically Wally's running with a big magnet on his back, or a big bit of metal to like hold him magnetized to it. It's a great
really
page.
Well, yeah, Adams and the artist work really well with the pacing on that. Wallace runs up to him and is like, hey, you guys are going to want to open the door. And then just that reveal is real funny.
Yeah, honestly, the run has done nothing really, other than like when it's been called away for a crossover or something. It's been doing a decent job of finding its groove, I think, where it's feeling more natural each issue.
Yeah, you can tell that Adams really likes writing these characters. There's a love in them, whereas last issue I was worried that Wally calling him Ace was out of, and it was like, well, no, that's how Wally's trying to ingratiate himself to Wallace, and he's like this dorky uncle type, and it just works. Like, and the stuff with the kids, I love at the end where, Wally has to run away, and now Wallace knows that Linda has powers.
How do you say that without and avoid all the key details that make it make sense?
What do you mean?
It's a gift. So yeah, like Linda wants to tell Wally about her powers, and then he gets a call and he rushes off. And then immediately right after, one of the kids says something that lets Wallace wait. Powers? What are you talking about? So at the end of the issue, like Wallace finds out, but Wally hasn't because he's ran off too quickly.
It's very sitcom-y, and I like it.
Yeah, no, it's just quite fun. But no, I love Wally racing in with this bit of metal on his back, so that Girder is like tethered to him via magnetism as they're running at super speed is really funny, especially since he's like screaming and yelling about it the whole time. It just makes him land in the cell. Of course, it's all very fishy though, because Wolf wants rid of them, doesn't want to talk to them beyond some niceties to begin with, and we hear that they've got some plans. Wally and Wallace, because Wally thinks that was suspicious, they're looking into stuff back at the Speed Lab, as he calls it, to try and figure out what's going on. But it's all very nice. He's also got the Flashmobile. He's building a car.
which I do like. The Wallace is like, this is dumb. We run faster. It's like, but it's not about that. This is what I do to chill.
Yeah,
this is work on cars.
Was this something in Johnsy's run? I feel like this sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was a Flashmobile, but he was a mechanic at the police station.
Yeah.
So I don't quite remember the key details, but I do like that the lesson that he's trying to impart onto Wallace is you got to have your things outside of this. Like, this is my thing that slows me down.
I feel like I remember people cracking jokes about him needing a car because he's the Flash. Yeah. This is silly. I remember that being a thing at some point, so my mind's not letting me remember when it was.
Because it's familiar to me too, but I don't remember where that was.
Yeah. So he's got stealth suits though, so him and Wally in black suits sneak into Iron Heights because they want to figure out what's going on.
I get that they're going to Iron Heights and they have anti-flash, whatever. I just think stealth suits when you can move faster than light.
It's stupid, yeah.
It's kind of silly, but
it's stupid in an endearing way though, because you sort of like kind of love Wally that he did this because he just wants to have stealth suits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it fits his character. It's I feel like it's supposed to make you roll your eyes a little.
Yeah, it's a little bit funny, but they find all Wolf's like mayor campaign stuff, posters, T-shirts, all that sort of stuff, and they're like, shit, what's he up to? And they also find that Girder, they've done something to him where he's like in a big ball of like metal, like Tetsuo the Iron Man. He's just like formed into a metal ball. So they've done something to shut him up, which is suspicious. But they get detected, so they have to speed out and run away. And then we get the final page where Wally gets the call from Detective Chimp, and it leads him off to Dark Crisis stuff to deal with Barry. So the main story is taking a break. I don't know, maybe he'll still do like some subplot stuff with the other characters during the tie-ins. I'm not sure. I almost wish he won't, not because I don't want to catch up with them and I'll miss them for a few months, but because I think when you later on like want to just read those issues to be part of the event, or you just want to read the Flash and skip the crossover like tie-in issues, it would just be neater if they didn't have anything in them. It would just this pauses now, we come back and 4 issues time. I feel
unless the family get involved, because that's what Flash is all about. That's the only way, and it'll feel like it's more part of the Dark Crisis than this storyline.
Yeah. But it seems like all this Wolf stuff with the mayor campaign and whatever he's up to with the Fury, it does seem like that's going to be stuff to pick up after the Dark Crisis issues, which is cool. It's a shame we have to wait a few months for it, but I enjoyed the issue though.
Oh yeah, me too. So we were talking to Solicits about the annual, and it's a Linda and Wally story. Hang on my throat real quick. And I have the sneaking suspicion that the reason that Linda suddenly has developed speed powers is she's got another baby cooking.
Ah, yes.
And that Wally being this bastion of family life and how his kids are the ones that brought him back. That them getting another kid.
Did this happen when she got pregnant before?
I believe it did.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And I know people were drawing comparisons to that mini that I didn't read, anyways, where there was a Linda from an alternate Earth that had powers, and that then maybe they're trying to do some multiverse-y. I think that's a little bit too far. But her being with a Flash baby, I think being tapped into the Speed Force that way, and who Wally's been since he's been back as his family man. And remember, he was gonna retire from Flash work until Barry, challenged him to that race and whatnot.
I suppose it works out in the sense that if we do have this new Flash baby come, that the other kids can become teenagers and become like Titans and Young Justice sort of level characters, and the baby can then be the young cute one who has a couple of power
and again
hijinks.
It feels very sitcom-y, right? Like them bringing in the baby type character, and but I feel again with Flash, it's always been about family. So the bigger the family gets, the more it feels like Flash. So,
are you talking about Flash or Fast and Furious?
Both. How's there not been a Wally West-like character? Hey, Vin Diesel, if you're listening.
Well, Fast and the Furious is falling apart because the director's leaving because Vin Diesel's too much of a prick, apparently. So
still, we'll never forget.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah, allegedly,
Rock,
of course.
The Rock telling him if he really wants to go, I have go muscles, you have show muscles. So, but yeah, so no, just a thought when I got to the solicits and I saw that the annual seems to be really focused on Linda and Wally's relationship. I figure that was almost a tell, but I've been wrong, way wrong before.
What's nice about that is that the annual gets to go back to some of the main story whilst the tie-in issues are still going on. So we actually kind of get a regular Flash issue with the annual in August, which is nice.
You say that, but the annual will be at the end of that month, which is after the 3 issues of the tie-in anyway. So,
fine, shit all over it, whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry you were wrong.
It's not, well, okay, it comes back a little earlier then. All right, yeah. What do you want? I just saw someone commented on YouTube, basically listing my team of arch nemesis.
Am I on it?
No, Rob Zombie, Zack Snyder, Tim Burton, Paul W.S. Anderson, Michael Bay, and Eli Roth. Yeah, that is a nightmare waiting to happen.
I feel like I deserve a spot on that list.
Hey, whoever did this one, do one for me. And make sure Pete's on it.
What?
I feel like I could guess the people who'd end up on my list that people would put on there. I don't know about Matt's off the top of my head.
Just the concept of Red Hood on yours?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It'd be that. It'd be like that, Bendis and Hickman.
Hickman could have been on mine, to be honest.
Hickman deserves to be on everyone's.
I do feel like the one person that doesn't belong on Pete's list is Burton. I know he doesn't like him, but I don't know. He just feels. I get every other one being on his list. That one, no.
It's more apathy towards Burton than the others, which is disdain.
Right.
So. Very good analysis. All right, Matt, what are you giving the Flash?
I'm giving the Flash a 8.
You know what? Yeah, it's actually kind of inching up. It's been typically been like a 7.5 for me most of this run, but it is kind of inching up a little bit. So I'm not going to go 8 quite yet, but I'll say it's getting very close to kind of scratching that for me. I'll say 7.5 though on this one. But I'm digging what they're doing, digging the characteristics and all the stuff. So good. All right. Batman Superman World's Finest issue 3, Mark Waid writing with Dan Mora on the art. So we left various characters in different places at the end of issue 2. Superman and Batman are with Billy Batson, dealing with
hell.
Well, allegedly hell. So they're dealing with that. Robin and Supergirl went into the past to try and find out more about how they defeated I always forget that. Neza, yeah. Devil Neza. Yeah. So you got that going on, and then Doom Patrol are off to seek some get some questions answered about everything going on as well. So we have these 3 sort of plot threads going still in this issue, which is neat. And we get a nice variety of characters. It still has that kind of sense of humor. There's a lot of little jabs from Superman to Batman about various things, which is quite nice. The issue starts with Superman not really doing anything while they're surrounded by hell, and Batman's screaming at him, "What are you doing?" And what he's actually doing is listening for the real heartbeat, so that he knows where the villain is and is able to then basically stop it right there and then.
I do love the close up on him going shh to Batman.
Yeah. Mora's pacing on these things is excellent.
Yeah.
It's really good. So the Devil Nez is going after various people. Obviously, that leads to the cliffhanger at the end of the issue as well. But the idea that he's building alliances or controlling people and giving them upgrades, because when we see later on Superman and Batman end up fighting, they go to Central City to get to Barry. They go talk to the Flash, and Mirror Master's got an upgrade. He's got this red mirror that's sort of flying around and doing various things. So and Dr. Alchemy's up doing stuff as well. So they've both got upgrades, and then obviously the end of the issue, the big cliffhanger is that Alfred, he's standing behind Alfred, and it's all kind of he's in Alfred's head right now.
Yeah, because Bruce calls in for some backup, like information from Alfred, and Alfred's like, "Oh, there's nothing," and then you see basically the devil on his shoulder behind him.
Yeah, everything's a-okay. Yeah. So.
I will say that Wonder Woman, Jesus, I'm out of it today, guys. Supergirl and Robin go into the past to basically find the Planeteers. That made me laugh.
Oh yeah, when they said that like there's 4 of them and like one has the power of fire, one has the power of water, one has the power of wind, one has the power of earth.
They all have these elemental, and I was just like, oh, there's missing heart.
They're missing Lilu Multipass.
Yeah. So I thought that was real funny, but I do like that Robin gets their trust by taking off his mask. And I was like,
makes such a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that the Earth guy managed to put Supergirl down, so we know he's like super strong. So the fact that it took the efforts of all 4 of them to finally seal Neza in the tomb, we saw what he did to Supergirl, but like we're dealing with an ultra powerful enemy, which I did like that. Yeah,
there's some fighting for a bit, but they're able to calm them down eventually and be like, okay, like we're here for information, so. And you got the Doom Patrol going to see Methuselah and being surprised to find that he's old and senile. And
he's always old. That's kind of the whole.
Well, true. Yeah, but
General Immortus, right?
But now he can't remember anything. He's scared. He's like not a threat anymore. So there's some humor here with this. I love seeing the Doom Patrol in this book because I love how sort of pulpy and fun it is. And when a Negative Man kind of like scares them with because he's not really answering their questions, but then he makes the symbol of Neza and it scares the shit out of him, and starts talking about the tomb and the island of Corto Maltese. So they're sort of getting piecing the mystery together, and the art here throughout is just gorgeous. I love the designs and a lot of these characters that Mora's working with.
Yeah, it's still the big draw for me because the writing, it's the story, it's fine. I don't know how I feel about Devil Measure. It's like whatever. It just kind of feels like it'll do. It's a plot, right? But the art is fantastic.
Well, I like it more than you do, so I'm not going to agree with that, but sure.
Yeah, no, but I get where he's coming from, just because the way that Waid, like, we know what Waid's capable of, and it feels like he's writing in a very specific style.
It's a very intentionally pulpy story, but the reason why it's working for me is not so much the villain necessarily, it's more the characters and how all their interactions are. I think it makes a lot of sense to me that everyone's at least in a pair, if not in a group, in all these stories, because it's all they're bouncing off of each other that's really making it sing. Like just the little jabs between Supergirl and Robin, the little jabs between Superman and Batman, the Doom Patrol dialogue with each other. That's what's making it really sing, on top of the great art and all that stuff working. So, like, I'm digging all that. I also love how this has been a running joke, obviously, in Nightwing with Wally. They're like, what's the honorable way to be carried by the Flash when he's running you somewhere? I love that Batman's like honorable way to be carried by Superman is to like be held by the shoulders and just stand upright. Is it he doesn't want to be carried like he's a baby or piggyback. He just wants to.
Yeah, it helps that he's got 1, the strength to do it, and 2, the flight, so he can, hold him dangling down as he's like flying. Whereas with the Flash is not really an option to hold them underneath them, is it?
I love that this is like the method. This is how he wanted to be held for this flight. It just cracked me up. So that's really cool. And surprise, Dan Mora's Flash also looks really good.
Dan Mora's everything looks really good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But like, again, from reading what's in future, he really nails like the mystical kind of stuff. So when they go back to 1579 China, all of those characters feel like they're ripped right out of what's in future. Like with the weapons and
I want to see Dan Mora on an Avatar book.
Oh, what'd you just say that
as in
the Na'vi, and Pandora.
Not
there you go.
Not
should have said Last Airbender. I know.
I should have done, but that's my bad. I'm sorry for my brain thinking of the superior Avatar first.
Well, the dumb cartoon kids show, that one.
The internet will fight you on this. I'm sorry, you will lose this one.
I don't care. I'll take that on. It's fine.
Jumping up the movie.
I will continue to enjoy the Avatar by James Cameron. Thank you very much.
You can, but that doesn't make it better than Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Anyway,
no, it being better makes it better than Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Like,
Have you seen both?
I don't need to. I can sense it.
My original point was it just like more strengths are really in that mystical kind of stuff, but then you see him draw Superman, throw a batarang, and you're just like, this is great. Like, you know, Mora can do it all, and this book is really, you know, they'd always said that the story for Hush was built around what characters Jim Lee wanted to draw, and I don't think that's necessarily true here, but it's almost like Mark Waid going, all right, who can I give Mora to draw next?
Yeah.
All right, how about General Mortis?
Of course.
How about Felix Foss?
Yeah, Green Lantern shows up, of course, by the end. But the twist is, and this is right before the Alfred reveal, is that Green Lantern's working for Neza and traps him in a green cage, and that's when Batman calls Alfred to say, is there anything, you know, wrong? But we just see, like, you know, it's like almost literally the devil, like, over his shoulder. He's actually got his hand on Alfred's shoulder, as Alfred says, no, everything's as it should be. So,
not a good couple months for Hal Jordan.
So no, it's putting Batman and Superman. I mean, they're not completely alone in that Doom Patrol and Supergirl and Robin are also doing stuff, but they're separated right now from them. So it's going to make Batman and Superman feel like they're on their own next issue, presumably, and give them, you know, some stacked decks to fight against, which should be fun. So, I'm having a delightful time with this book.
No, I mean it's perfectly fun. I'm just not in love with that, I don't think, to the same degree that you are.
Perfectly delightful time. Matt, what are you giving World's Finest?
I'm gonna give this one an 8.
Connor?
I'll give it a 7.5. I'll bump it up a little bit than I think I was initially thinking, just because Mora's art.
Yeah, I'm happy to give this an 8.5. I'm having a delightful time with. I think Mark Waid's dialogue is just good, and the only critique I've really had throughout the book so far is some of the weird powers that he's added on to like some characters, which annoy me an issue too. But hey, there you go. That is World's Finest issue 3. Batman the Night issue 5. Chip Zdarsky writing with Carmine D. Giandomenico on the art. Bruce's next teacher, if you will, but he's got this character with him, Anton, who is clearly going to be villainous by the time this is all said and done.
It's interesting seeing this because obviously this isn't continuity, but we were thinking maybe with Zdarsky taking over, he's gonna weave some of these threads in. I'm like, is this sort of his kind of take on Ghostmaker in some regards?
I feel that very much just because of Anton. Also, this is different than the guy because the last time we saw, right, they were leaving the mountains from the sensei.
Yep.
Right? Anton's different than that character, right?
No, I thought the same guy.
No, that's the same guy.
Okay. Because I felt like I missed a page, right? Just because of where this picks up at, right? They're in the jail. And
no, just they throws us at the deep end, and then we sort of get the context that they have been arrested.
And so I couldn't quite remember if Anton was the same guy.
He is,
from the monastery or not.
So it starts off with them. They've been arrested because they were snooping on a KGB operative, but then it turns out to all be a ruse because like eventually this general takes his mask off and it's the woman that they were looking for from Descartes' list.
Mission Impossible style.
So I mean, obviously Bruce does incorporate disguises, so it makes sense that one of his teachers would be kind of leaning into that, and a lot of what she's teaching them. It's not just that. There's more to it, but
we've seen him wear these masks like this before.
So it really sets up this idea, but also the idea of like, and it's kind of a running joke this issue that he's really bad at being the playboy and like, you know, charming people, which is something that we know he can do as Bruce eventually. So it's sort of playing with our expectations there a little bit. But Anton's great at it. He's you know, sailing his way through this.
Telling people what they want to hear, and Bruce really isn't about that, right? Because Bruce has a singular mission right now, and it's to be the best.
Yeah, I think because so much of this, she keeps talking about being someone else, and that's what the masks let you be, and what doing all this does. And I think part of the reason why it's not jiving with Bruce so much is because we bring this up a lot with Batman, is that Batman is who he is. Like this is like what he is, and he doesn't need to be someone else.
Bruce. Which makes it sound like he's a caveman, but
Cave
Bruce in the cave without the cowl on, but still wearing the bat suit.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. She said she's got a cave. and she says, "Are you the place where you can be yourself?" kind of thing. So it's like, it's poking at the Batcave a bit, obviously.
So like when he's around Alfred, talking at the Bat computer with the cowl off, I feel like that's the most honest Bruce / Batman.
It is, yeah.
But it also goes to like in Batman Beyond where, the whole mind control episode. He goes, "How'd you know?" He's like, "Well, because I don't call myself Bruce in my head." It's also that kind of stuff that plays in with that. That I like that this issue playing with.
Yeah, we get a series of like kind of tests that she puts them through, and she kind of makes them compete against each other, where they're trying to charm people in a club, or they're trying to get someone out of jail that's been arrested, some tourists. And interestingly, the solution to that one that Anton still kind of wins is to bribe them, and Bruce doesn't love that. But it's the idea that, hey, money's a useful tool, and you've got a lot of it, so maybe use it.
Yeah, I just love. He's like, "You cheated." He's like, "No, I never said we couldn't do it.
I played the situation."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, man. So Bruce is learning the hard way.
It's so much of it. If nothing else, I'd say the lessons here are about reading people, because part of that's just reading what this person is going to respond to, and that's something that he needs to understand and know.
And he has to be willing to act outside the strict confines of the law.
Yeah.
Because bribery is illegal, but just being a vigilante is, right? So he's got to learn to accept kind of some of those elements that, yes, he is going to have to do some things for the greater good.
And he tries at this fancy ball to charm this woman, but her husband shows up. He's failed. Anton's going to get this book that they're after. And, Bruce basically says, well, I can fight. I've been trained in other things, so I'll fight my way in and get it that way. Anton's already got the book, though. But the little twist ending, of course, after the little action sequence is that he's actually swiped it from Anton and says, no, I win. But he doesn't give it to the teacher here. He throws it in the water and says, nah, this is all shady, this book. No one gets this. Yep. So it's kind of like, his moral center is still sort of shining through whilst he's learning how to do these various other things. Like, okay, I agreed to do some shady stuff to get this because it was important and I'm going to have to be able to do it. But I'm not going to give this to you who does criminal stuff. Like, no.
Yeah. I kind of the very last panel here where she's like, I think you're ready for the masks, and there's the giant shadow of the Bat logo into the river. Yeah,
it's red. Yeah, so it's like really
so good,
glaring.
I really felt like this was going to be, because just off of the cover, he looks like Matches Malone. So
that's his main disguise, right? If we're talking about him donning a disguise, Matches Malone's the main one that comes up all the time.
Right, which is one of my favorite things in that lore is Matches Malone. That
he may not have
on shades.
Gotten that identity this time, but this is where he learns the idea of Matches. Yeah.
And we can trace like some of these different people that he's worked with. We can sort of trace some of the specific lessons that he's been learning from each of them that all feed into skills that he has as Batman, which is nice.
Right. As we keep saying, these are his armor. This is what the skills that he's gonna take into the cowl.
Yeah.
To fully become Batman. But I even like the whole seduction thing kind of works on Anton, because the way that Giandomenico draws that, it's very intimate, right?
Yeah.
Definitely plays it like there's the potential for a relationship between the two of them.
Right. And Bruce uses that to get the book, which again, that whole part is told through the art, which I really, really like.
It's almost a little ironic that the first person he successfully does it with is him. Like it's the one you don't expect it with, because not only do we, typically is Bruce Wayne not someone who like has same-sex relationships, but also because this is the guy that's also training to do this, so he should be able to spot it. But Bruce is able to trick him with it, so it's a subversion, I think, at the end.
And it's something that'll set up later down the line that maybe that Anton has a little bit of a blind spot for Bruce. That'll be how he's exploited when he inevitably turns bad, right?
Right.
That's how Bruce will stop him.
Well, I feel like this is more. He already is, because we saw what he did in the last issue, sending the goons after them.
Yeah.
The temple. But and I just like the continuity from book to book with this is someone else that was on Ducard's list of people, the KGB or ex-KGB. So I do like that they're using the whole idea of Ducard's list, and who else is on that list,
Yeah. It's also interesting to think about the context of like all these lessons, like how this plays on Bruce when he's then training other Robins in the future.
Yeah.
Like which lessons does he think is important to impart on them compared to how he was taught by these people. So there's some interesting things to compare.
He also because he uses that heart stop technique that makes someone feel like they're having a heart attack, that he learned from the sensei, that, kind of rides that line. So, definitely he's not teaching that to any of the Robins, down the line. So.
So cool. All right, Matt, what are you giving Batman the Night issue 5?
I'm gonna give this one a 7.5.
Okay, Connor.
I think I'll just edge it to maybe just about an 8. I think I enjoyed what this book's doing. It's kind of the 8's a little bit cumulative with the series. Like, we're halfway through. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm kind of into just the vibe overall now, as well as just what this is doing. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot.
I agree with that last part, and I think I like the book overall more the more it kind of is assembling, because I'm seeing the shape of the whole starting to form. Which is cool. I will say that some of the issues in this one, I'll include in this, and I think it does have a few extra pages. I think it's a little bit longer, but it feels, I feel the length a little bit, and I think part of it is that she puts them through a few tests in this issue. I almost do think you could have taken one of them out. I don't, maybe the first one or something, and simplified it a bit, just to streamline it. But
because the first lesson is how they don't break, right? Like, they're getting the crap just kicked out of them constantly by these Russian police officers.
Oh, I'm not counting that. I'm thinking just like the lessons.
No, right?
Yeah, she gives them.
We get that one, and then we get the actual lessons, right, throughout. So it felt very, not formulaic, but
yeah,
like you said, there could have been one less.
Yeah,
to really kind of understand the stakes.
It definitely is slightly longer. I think it's like 28 pages of story as opposed to the usual 20.
Right.
So, and I've not felt it in all of them. I think the one with the serial killer, I thought that one flew in, but some of the other ones I've felt the length a little bit more. So it's a minor quibble, really, but there is there. So I'll probably agree with Matt 7.5 and score, but I do kind of agree that the shape of the whole forming makes me like the whole thing a bit more than maybe I did when I first read the first couple. So, cool. All right. Shadow War Zone issue 1. This is a one-shot anthology of stories tying into Shadow War. With obviously we'll talk about the various teams and whatnot as we go through them. So the first story is pretty decent, and then the rest of it I did not need to read. It was crap.
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I
think
read
I finished.
The first story. You're saying it's decent. It's fine.
Well, I mean, I like Dinah. I like the interaction with her and Babs. I like the idea of her getting involved in Shadow War. The art's like pretty good. Story, though. Like, it is a half story, but it's the only one that I feel like it was even that relevant. Because if Dinah's going to show up and get involved. Although there is a weird editor's note at the start that says this takes place before Shadow War Omega, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's not out yet. Of course, it takes place before. You don't have to tell me that.
Right. I got confused because I thought it was Alpha. Well, okay, so I read this on Wednesday, which is when I started to feel not so great.
Yeah.
So I know I read the first story, and I know I read the second. I don't remember a lot after that.
Joe, this is stupid though. This is like issue 4 of Batman comes out and it says, by the way, this takes place before issue 5. That's what effectively this editor's note is.
As I'm reading this, I read that as Shadow War Alpha, which we have read, and I was like, wait.
That wouldn't make any sense then.
Yeah, the story. This doesn't make.
The very next panel.
Again, it's like, no, Omega's out.
Yeah.
Why did they tell us this?
Yeah, the very next panel is Babs saying Ra's al Ghul is dead. I'm like, well, it's set after Alpha then.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. It's just some weird editors that just made it more confusing than it needed to be.
Freaking Clown Hunter.
So yeah,
that's why I put it out of my brain.
But this is Otto Schmidt doing the art with Williamson writing, and the fact that Williamson's writing this story and not the rest inherently makes it the more relevant one to everything.
And who would have guessed Otto Schmidt drawing a primarily canary?
Oh, it looks great. And like, the thing when I say this story is fine is because it hasn't got much to it. It's like a handful of pages. There's no real resolution. There's no arc to it. It's like, to be continued in whichever issue it's
I'm not saying it's amazing. I'm saying it feels relevant and it's going to be followed up on later. And I like seeing Schmidt draw Dinah again. But like, it's a fight scene with her and what's her face? Angel. I always forget her name.
I do love that it hints that Dinah does have this dark past where she trained Angel Breaker at a certain point. And that, Dinah's not the squeaky clean
is the
superhero.
Team 7 stuff still continuity?
I don't think it is, but I think a version of it. I think Williamson's gonna pull from, because her history with Slade, her ex-husband, now this training with Angel Breaker. I do feel like something along the Team 7 line.
Do you know what I wish? I wish this first story, the 10, 12 pages of it, I wish this was just added on to Alpha, charge an extra $1 for that, have it there.
Do you know what would have been better?
Mm-hmm.
Put this as a backup instead of that Joker Slade thing that we had in Batman.
Oh, yeah, or do that, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Even better. Because this looked great. I am happy to see Dinah's inclusion in this. The rest of the stories in this, I hated to varying degrees and thought they were a chore to read. Connor tapped out. I put the effort in because I believe in the show. I'm here.
Look, I read the second story. I read all of the second one, and I don't think I hated it quite as much as Pete did.
No,
I just thought it was fine.
It was just worthless. Like they didn't do anything.
And I got to the end of it. I was like, right, okay, I understand what this book is now. I got 2 pages into the next one. I was like, it's Ghostmaker. Screw this. I'm out.
The Ghostmaker story is probably the best out of the rest of them, but it's still Ghostmaker, so I just like, because the second story, which is Nadia Shamish writing with Sweeney Boo on art, so right away the art gave me whiplash, because you turn the page and it's this like neon green and purple like cartoony.
I like the art though. Like
the art's the strongest point of that story, I think.
I'm a little mixed on it. I think it might fit certain stories all right. I don't know if it necessarily fits what I think of as Ra's al Ghul and Talia, but
I like it in the context of a young Talia story, and it's her finding a place. I think the art works for that.
Right, but I feel like there's a lot of characters that I don't need to see the young version of, and Talia is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it's nice that this art comes out, and it does give it that softness of a young Talia, but I don't know what we're supposed to glean from this about the character.
I mean, there's nothing here. She gets hurt, like proven to try to prove that she can dive off a cliff to her friend, and then she sneaks out and goes to Lazarus Island and meets her grandmother for the first time. I mean, her grandmother saw her as a baby, but that doesn't count.
Right.
And she's like, "No, I need to send you back to your father." But basically tells her that when she was a baby, she had to be put in a Lazarus pit. And when she looks in the Lazarus pit at the end, she sees a reflection of a demon, and it's like, yes, we're all part of the demon. This is our bloodlines tied to the demon, blah, blah, blah. And that's
the
it.
thing that gets at me about this, though, is that they set up this friendship, right, with Amal.
Yes.
And then, like, she just gets dismissed off screen.
And those first couple of pages were the strongest part of this, that relationship, kind of forming that. And I feel like that's the sort of thing it should have been the through line of what this story was supposed to be.
Not the Mother Lazarus BS. Like, I don't care about that. I care about Talia and her relationships, and that tends to be her downfall, right? Like, it's her relationship with Bruce, like, continually trying to be like, no, you can trust me, and then it's like, no.
It was a weird turn, because all the stuff with her talking to her friend Amal up in the cliff, I thought, this is what the story's about. It's their relationship, so we're going to get some tragic ending to it by the end of the story. And then it just pivoted to her running away and going to Lazarus Island, and I'm like, what is the rest of this?
The whole idea of Talia being forced to bear witness to her dad coming back, and it almost gives this, like, she understands the cost of the pit, which is why she tends not to use them, right? I like that there seems to be an undercurrent of that, but then we just get caught up in the Mother Lazarus stuff, and I just like, okay, but why?
See if it focused on the idea that she thinks that she doesn't have to be like her father, that she's not like tied to this demon shit, and then you reveal at the end that he intentionally put her in a Lazarus pit as a kid, as a baby, to tie her to this without her choice, right, without her consent. That could read as a dark ending. That's like, no, you're destined to be Talia al Ghul,
and
whatever.
If it's a too,
but that wasn't the focus of the story up until that point, though. Yeah, she has some like conflict with her father, but it's not because she's like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this, or I don't want to be part of the demon, or any of that shit. It wasn't that. So, yeah, I got nothing out of it. I was like, and then of course, you get a Ghostmaker story. This is Ed Brisson with Mike Bowden, and it's basically them protecting one of Deathstroke Inc.'s. Was it Black Spider? What is his name?
Yeah.
And they take him to one of Ghostmaker's safe house, and Clown Hunter's being trained to fight the ninjas, so he lets Clown Hunter do all the fighting. And that's basically what it is. he fights 5 of the 6 ninjas. Ghostmaker intervenes because the 6th one's going to get him from behind. But he's like, hey, 5 out of 6 ain't bad for such a early part of your career, but there's room for improvement. And he goes off to fight elsewhere, and he leaves him to look after Black Spider, and that's the story. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly inoffensive.
Sounds like it's pretty much how I felt about the first one then, where it's fine, just like, yeah, it's just there.
Yeah.
Can I say that how much I hate the concept of a bat still? I hate that it's called that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong though, I was still annoyed at the end of it because I'm like, wait a minute, there's only one story left. So at this point, this one shot's feeling pretty superfluous. And
this is typical tie-in bollocks that you should skip and save your money on.
Yeah.
Yes, there's nothing about this that's essential. Nothing at all. And I'm pretty sure even when Dana does show up in the Omega issue or wherever
There'll
it
be
is,
an editor's note and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not going to be that confusing. So there you go. And then we have a Harley story, which, because of the coloring, I didn't even realize it was Harley until they mentioned her name in the next panel. I know the little diamonds are on her shoulder, which is kind of a giveaway, but like, she looks like she's got purple hair, so I just kind of whatever. But that's a flashback to when she was kind of loosely affiliated with Deathstroke in a team, which is why she's been hunted in the present day. It's a tenuous link at best, as she points out, but it's just an excuse for a Harley story, which is Stephanie Phillips writing, with art by Anne Molina. So luckily it's not Rosmo also for this.
I would have thrown my book across the.
That's when Matt would have tapped out.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that Cora didn't get to the Harley story when he's the one who's been reading Harley.
Yeah, but also I forgot this was in here. I forgot Ghostmaker was in this one. We're in here. So that's fine.
I have no regrets.
I will say though that Stephanie Phillips does bring a comedic thing to Harley, which they should have, where she wants to bring in a monkey ambassador, and all Grodd says is like, I find this offensive.
Yeah.
So that made me chuckle.
Yeah, she's basically just been chased by ninjas. She runs into an arcade. There's a fight scene. And I'm not going to lie, there's a certain point where I stopped reading her dialogue and just read the narration, which was the more important part, because it's like, there's people talking about Harley and potentially that, like, recruiting her for whatever they're doing. And at the end, it's Luke Fox. They've been watching her on the security cameras.
So you didn't read where she's in the arcade, and it's the
killed my father, prepared to die. I'm just skimming through it.
Yeah. They're all movie quotes, and I don't understand why they're there. Is that something she does in the book?
Yes. This is what I think it was. I can't remember what movie car it was. It was like 3 issues ago where it was. Okay. It was like I can't remember what movie car it was, but it was like 3 pages on how cool this movie car is, and I'm like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, that page is quite cringeworthy, to be honest. Now I'm looking at it.
Because
there's a lot of that.
You killed my father, prepared to die. Just when I thought there was okay, so I know those ones. Just when I thought I was out, you pulled me back in. I have 2 guns, one for each of you. And then I thought of Pete when I read this one. That's it, man. Game over, man.
Mrs. At least that makes sense in an arcade as well.
Yeah. Right. There you go, Mrs. Robinson trying to seduce me, and there's no crying in baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just reading this. I was like, okay, Stephanie Phillips, I get it. Like, Harley is kind of this. She breaks the fourth wall a lot, but why talking in movie quotes? So,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, Phillips' version of Harley seems to love movies and doing movie references. I don't like it either, actually, to be honest.
Look, I don't pay into our Patreon, but if we could get Harley and Pete talking movies, I would pay good money for that.
Wait, how does that happen? How do I talk to a fictional character?
We will find a way.
Yeah, honestly, this Shadow Warzone one shot, I would say skip it like the plague. Honestly, it's
save you money.
It's the first story is decent enough, and if like it was 4 stories of a similar quality, I'd be like, it's an okay tie-in for what it is. But that's the highlight, and then it plummets. It plummets after that. Yeah. I did not like the rest of it at all. So.
Oh shoot! I should have known this. I have 2 guns, one for each of you from Tombstone. That's Doc Holliday.
I have seen that movie. I found it's got a great cast, but I found it pretty forgettable. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. Have I told you my favorite game to play with my wife lately?
Doctor?
No, no.
The honeymoon phase is over now.
Yeah. No, it's finding a Kurt Russell movie, asking her if she wants to watch it, and when she says no, because she always says no, asking her why she hates Kurt Russell.
Mm.
And now it doesn't matter what movie I ask, she will have to get on her phone to see if Kurt Russell's in it. Which led me to find out that Kurt Russell's not in Firestarter, and I've thought for my entire life he was the dad in Firestarter. I don't know where that got started. Because I asked her if she wanted to watch the old Firestarter. Because Kurt Russell's in it, and then I got my joke taken away. But Tombstone is I continually ask her. So I think that I don't feel good when I'm done here. I'm gonna lay in bed and watch Tombstone. So thank you, Stephanie Phillips.
You can knock yourself out.
Something good came out of this one shot.
Yeah, because I don't even remember reading this until I got to that page just now of all the movie quotes, and I thought I had to ask Connor. Well, I was gonna ask Pete if he was familiar with this because I didn't know you were gonna be here. But yes.
Yeah, I was just obviously I have the issue because I read the first like 2 stories.
Yes.
So I was just skimming through it to see what these other ones were because I didn't even realize there was a Harley story because I was like, right, I'm not reading this, and I closed it. When I saw that first one there, I didn't read the rest of the page. I thought she was going to do the whole speech from that movie, but no, it's just that one line, and then it's lines from every other movie.
Yeah. So she's being, I do like that she wants to get that plush unicorn out of the claw machine, and she just ends up throwing the ninjas into it and taking it out, which I think is funny. But it looks like she's being watched for this team, and is that Wolf? Did I confuse the Flash in this one? Pete?
Oh, but yeah, maybe. I didn't see Wolf.
I think I did because this is Luke Fox. I do not need to read what I'm not feeling good. This is where Lashina came in with Luke Fox, not Lashina with.
Oh, so you brought the furries into the Flash?
Yeah. Just, you didn't fight me on it, so you know.
Well, I didn't remember it, but I didn't feel confident that it didn't happen, so I just kind of, and I'd forgotten the end of this, to be honest. Like. Yeah,
me too. That's where I got it from. So. Which I forgot. I
forgot this Harley story existed until I flipped the page while we were talking about it. Oh yeah, the next one's a Harley story.
Yeah.
Who are the other ones they're watching? That's Bronze Tiger, right?
No, that's Luke Fox.
No, but the ones
watching
like, they're watching on the screen.
Matt really is like not feeling up to do this.
I'm not, guys. Also, that doesn't even look like Lashina. I am so ashamed of myself, guys. Hooey.
She's got a Fury-esque look to her, I guess.
She does. There's rings around her, but still, so I don't know.
This one here on this last page?
No, this one, okay. The one from Flash,
okay,
is what I'm talking about. The one on here on the last page is definitely the Fury.
Yeah.
But
because there is a woman henchman in Flash, which is why I didn't fight Matt on it, because I'm like, okay, I don't remember it being her, but like, he was talking to a woman, so I'll just go with what Matt's saying.
That's fair.
Clearly, I was wrong to do so in this case, but
it's Bronze Tiger. I don't know who the guy with the glasses is, but it looks like Killer Frost is the one above Bronze Tiger. So
yeah. So I hate to be this dismissive, but it's shit. Don't buy it. As far as this one shot goes. So Matt, what are you rating it?
I'm gonna give it a 5, but that's because Otto Schmidt art, and then the second artist for that Talia story I pretty much enjoyed.
Okay, he's a little generous. Matt handed out the generous candies to the kiddies. Connor, what are you giving it?
I don't even think I can.
Oh, you didn't finish
fairly
it,
give a score here.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a 4 overall. Yeah. I'm annoyed that I read it, basically. So that's not what you want after I read your comic, is to be annoyed that I read it.
No, not at all.
So there you go. That will take us on to the part of the show where we pick our favorite stuff of the week, favorite panel/moment, favorite cover, favorite art, and rank our top 5 books. I read 5 books, so I'm a little annoyed that Warzone has to technically be on there, but that's just the way it is.
This is why I didn't finish it, because now I don't have to include it.
Yes, Connor gerrymandering his top 5.
Hey, you could have just stopped reading it when you realised it was shit.
All right, panel/moment, Matt. What are you starting with?
It's gonna be from Nightwing. Now it's just like, which one is it going to be? Right? What do I go with? I'm gonna go with the panel of Alfred standing down Bruce in the flashback, just because it's such a great image. Is Alfred has his back straight, full confidence, and Bruce is looking down at him. Yeah, it's just a really great moment.
All right, Connor.
I'm just gonna go with the double leaping in page from Nightwing because it's easy.
Good.
Yeah,
it's a great image.
I'm basically doubling up with Matt's. There's Alfred telling Bruce that he's not going in.
Yeah,
it's just such a great Alfred moment that just was so heartwarming that I can't not pick it. It gave me the feels. Cover of the week. I'm going to go with the variant for Nightwing. It's the Asian appreciation.
The Jen Bartel one.
Yeah, where they're all at the
API.
Yeah, they're eating food together. They're at like a Chinese restaurant. It's just a really nice cover with lots of good facial expressions. I also want to point out something here. Not because it's not a bad cover necessarily, but it's loading. So, but basically, there was some worry when we saw this variant in the Solicits that the Batman Who Laughs was going to show up in World's Finest, and he doesn't. He's got nothing to do with it. It's just the variant was just being weird. It's just a random variant. So, disaster averted. I just wanted to point that out because it was a worry at the time.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, so yeah, the Bartel Nightwing variant for me. What are you picking, Connor?
Yeah, the Bartel variant.
Oh, there you go.
Shocking, I know.
Matt?
Let's make it a trifecta, the Bartel variant.
Okay.
We've never picked Bartel variants before, have we, Matt?
No, not me and you.
Bartel gets a prize. Ding, 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 ding. All right, so best art of the week then. And why is it Redondo, Connor?
Do I need to explain? I just want to say, Dan Mora puts up a damn good fight.
No, that's true. No, Dan Mora's art in World's Finest is fantastic.
They're going punch for punch, but Redondo just got that little bit more.
I think Redondo edges it out. And I had a good time with Passarin's art and Flash. We were well at it.
I like Giandomenico.
Yeah. Like out of those 4 books, there was no bad art, but
no,
Redondo wins.
Yes.
And then Shadow Warzone doesn't have terrible art. It's just not at the level of the other. Schmidt's fine, but the rest of them are,
If you could choose just the Schmidt story, that would be like in contention.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a smidge of Schmidt. A smidge of Schmidt to be able to get out. Yeah. All right. So top 5 books then. Matt, what you got?
1 is Nightwing. 2 is The Flash. 3 is World's Finest. 4 is The Night. 5 is Shadow Warzone.
Connor?
Nightwing, Batman the Night, and then World's Finest.
Yep. I'm going Nightwing at number 1, shocking absolutely no one, and then World's Finest at number 2. Number 3, I'll go Flash. Number 4, The Night, and number 5 by default. Way down. Way down is Warzone. So there you go.
Way down.
Shut your filthy ginger mouth, you cretin. You cretin. So that is our picks of the week. I will take this time though to tell you what's coming next week from DC Comics. So coming out next week, if League of Comic Geeks would like to load the page.
Yeah, mine's been very slow today. Every time I try to click on a variant.
Yeah, here we go. Detective Comics 1060, Action Comics 1043. I do like, I love when Detective and Action come out together. It feels nice to have them as a pair. It's just a nice feeling to it. Batman Beyond the White Knight issue 3, The Swamp Thing issue 13, Deathstroke Inc. issue 9, Harley Quinn issue 15, The Task Force Z issue 8, Robin issue 14, Teen Titans Academy issue 15, DC vs. Vampires Hunters issue 1. That's the one shot, I believe. And then Batman Fortress issue 1, the Gary Whitta Batman book starting next week. And then Aquaman issue 4 to round out the week.
Deathstroke Inc. is part 6, Robin's part 7 of Shadow War.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I need to read Deathstroke Inc.
I was really, last time that those two came out, I think it was a week I wasn't here, so I was reading them to catch up. I did not realize both of them were out on the same week, and I tend to just read my books in alphabetical order. So I got very lucky that Deathstroke was the first part of the two, because it didn't even occur to me until it got to the end and went to be continued this week in Robin. I was like, oh shit, there's more. I was like, oh, well, that was lucky.
Yeah, so yeah, healthy week next week. Some books I'm really excited about. Swamp Thing and Action at a tippy top, but lots of good stuff. So yeah.
Should be a good week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So cool stuff. But yeah, I'll take this time to thank our Patreon producers for the month. So thank you very much to Tyler Hess, Cindy Palacios, David Short, Bordeaux, Christopher Moy, David Brown, Al Tradesman, and Alison M. 4 Dice. They are producers at one of the higher tiers over on patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, where you can support us for as little as $1 per month and get some bonuses for your trouble, especially for all the other content that is made from MailFuzz Movies and MailFuzz TV, movie podcasts, TV episode reviews, all that stuff. The $5 tier, you get early access to the show. You get Comics From The Multiverse whenever it's ready, sometime late on a Saturday, rather than having to wait for the release time on the Sunday. So if that's of interest to you, go and have a look and help support the show and keep all the content coming. But otherwise, that's about that. Of course, you can support us via other ways, like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications on YouTube, rate the podcast on iTunes 5 stars, share us on the Twitters, at DC Comics Podcast, of course, is the Twitter. So go and, hit us up there. Let us know what you thought of the week's books after the show comes out. But that is basically the show. That is episode 306. And you know what? For a Solicits episode, this was a little bit on the shorter side. I mean, it's still over 2 hours. Like, it's still a healthy show, but...
I'm just glancing back and, seeing, moving the windows around now so I can actually see myself. How long's that menu been popping over my window, Pete?
Literally just now. Like, I just moved it. I just moved it so I could see the names.
No, all right.
Literally just now.
Lay off.
So we're good. We're good. But yeah. There you go. That's the show. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep reading DC Comics, and remember to never get lost in the Speed Force.